wherever and whenever you are, and welcome back far, far over to the east, far away from the Sword Coast, far away from all of the other adventures that exist in D&D 5th edition, and over here on the Sea of Fallen Stars. Welcome back, my friends, with a full cast for the first time to Chessenta. Hello everybody, and a massive hello to everyone in chat already. Wow, it's so nice to have everyone hanging out and excitedly throwing emotes around the place and having a good old time. It's very, very lovely to have you all here. Let me have a look at what is going on here. Who we got to shout out at? Agadike, hello. Snail, all right. And who's down here? Tally with the sub, thank you so much. Lovely, lovely. And we got Kyle from Playing Out Allies. Hello. I assume it's Kyle. It might not be. It could be any of them. There's a whole bunch of them. It could be. It's probably Kyle. I could feel his epic beard lurking beyond the overlay. And Phoenix, that's me. Ignore that one. Rubblejax, hello. And Charlie, all right, how's it going? Pravman, good to see you. Well done. To be nice to have you here. Well done, well done. Sorry, well done.
Well done.
Well done for making it.
Sorry, I'm slightly rambling. And Eileen, hello Eileen, how you doing? Mahoishi konbanwa, indeed. Konbanwa to you too. And Tally again. I said hello to you already. Oh, but, no, Vashudin. Hello Vashudin, first time in chat. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Good to have you here. Now, where are we? What are we doing? What's going on? Who are these people? We should get to that in just a mo. Bazathy.
Most importantly, Basil.
Bazathy. Get out of here. Chicken. Little mite. Okay. Hey, Vashudin, welcome, welcome. It's good to have you. Now, he is ridiculously fluffy, it has to be said. I am a cat person. In fact, you're given the choice.
Yeah, given the choice.
Given the choice. Now, as we are getting wrapped up and ready to go here and back into this fortnightly adventure of ours, let us say a quick thank you to said adventure's author, the wonderful, wonderful Christian and everyone over at CZRPG. You too should say thank you to them as well, because they are sponsoring us. And oh boy, are they sponsoring us. They have given us a massive, massive bundle of their DM's Guild products. 11 products in total. Stuff for the Feywild, stuff for Icewind Dale, for Avernus, for Candlekeep, for Tyranny of Dragons, for Ravenloft in general, for Barovia in particular, the Dark Lords, all kinds of amazing stuff that is all multiple best-selling stuff over there. All of the medals. They got the Electrums, they got the Platinums, they got the Golds, they got the Silvers, all of them over there. And they have crammed them all together into a neat little bundle, put a little ribbon around it, and are willing to email it out into one of you lucky people's inboxes as you have the chance to win this huge bundle worth just shy of about $100, I think. If I've got my calculations correct, it shows up much cheaper on mine. I was like, what is it on? Was this on sale already? Is Christian giving us a discount bucket giveaway here? And then it was like, I saw the little hashtag underneath. It's like discounted for owned content. I was like, oh yeah, I own most of these already. Okay. I see. But yes, it is a massive chunk of stuff, and you, dear viewers, have the chance to grab your hands, your dirty little mitts, on one of those bundles for yourself or your DM, who will be eternally thankful and probably give you advantage or inspiration for like every session for like the next.
It is Christmas time,
6 or 7
there you
months.
go.
Yeah, incredible stuff. So. Yeah, it's worth about 200. The money they ask for is just shy of 100. It's worth so much more. Well put, Charlie, well put. Okay, now, let me start said giveaway, and then you can all start furiously going exclamation enter, and that will get going right about, dramatic pause, now!
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Bossed it. You're not allowed to enter, you cheeky bastard. do not worry. If the algorithm is you could come to any of the other streams, Skeptic. Anyway, but I have to be fair. I've already done that to a player already, so I can't.
I know, it was just funny because I would hear it before everyone else. I would be faster
don't care.
than everyone else.
I don't care how much you toss that gorgeous mane of hair of yours. I'm not gonna do any exceptions. The entire box is enter, you have been entered, enter, you have been entered, enter, you have been entered. Good luck, everybody, and I hope that you enjoy that when you get the chance to peruse it for yourselves. Now, that said, and by the way, do not worry if you need to head off and get stuff done or do other things before we finish tonight, or whatever part of the day is for you, because we will be sending the information to you in your Twitch Whispers if you are on the lucky end of this winning stick. Now, that's a phrase. Okay, so a massive thank you to Christian and everyone at CZRPG for the fabulous giveaway. Why are they being so generous, you might say? Well, because they are hoping that we might be slightly generous in the other direction, but not particularly, because we still get something very, very nice for it. They are in the throes, the ecstatic throes of a Kickstarter. A very successful Kickstarter. They have already funded. They funded in 6 hours, I believe. So you're definitely going to get this product. If you head on over to this link right here, you can see their fabulous, amazing encounters and places Kickstarter, which has beautifully cartographized, lovely written, interesting encounters, which you can use as one-shots. You can use them as drop-in encounters into your campaigns and games, or you can put them all together into a little mini-campaign of their own in a kind of sandboxy, cool through story that they have. Head on over there, follow that link. Streamlabs, I already did it. We're already angry at you. Don't make it worse. Okay, but yes, head on over there and give that Kickstarter your patronage if you are able and so desire. It is going to be a fantastic, fantastic bundle of stuff. They've got a bunch of incredible guest writers in there as well, and just all of the product they put out is fantastic all the time. And we are very proud that they are choosing to help us out here and sponsor the Dragon Eats World. It's alarming. Alarming username, but thank you very much for the follow. Speaking of follows to the channel, thank you very much, and all of you getting us closer and closer to that lovely 900. We're getting very close now. It's fantastic. Thank you so much. If you have given us a follow, I will be, once we go offline later on, sending a Discord invite to our followers Discord, which will be in your Twitch Whispers later on. So do jump in there and say hello, and you can share your art if you have such a thing. There's a very talented artist over there. Ah, yes, I got you. I see you. And also, you can see all of the fantastic goings-on, get some sneak peeks at creative endeavours that are happening. And, oh, thank you, Sceptic. You are forgiven for your cheeky entering of the draw. Thank you. And to Robblejax as well, a worthy recipient. Thank you so much. So, yes, do jump in the giveaway and head on over and support that Kickstarter if you're able, because it is fantastic. And that link there will show that you came from us and encourage them to give you more wonderful giveaways and presents in the future. Right, now, that said, we also like to say a massive thank you to the wonderful people at Sirenscape. Lovely people that they are, and they're providing of sound effects and musics for your games. You should head over to Sirenscape.com, where you can try them out for free for 30 days, 30 whole days. And once you fall in love with it, you can become a Super Siren subscriber like we are, and share all of their sounds with your players, even if they're scattered across the world like all of ours are. 22 players in 7 countries, all across the globe, all enjoying Sirenscape at the same time, and being scared by Sirenscape at the same time. And you can have that wonderful tool at your fingertips as well if you head on over there. Do give them a look. Speaking of lovely music, as Patch was enjoying this music just before, this is from those lovely people that we like to use in our games over on YouTube. There are 3 channels, 1, 2, 3. Dark Fantasy Studio, Travis Savoy, and Epic Journey, fabulous sources of music for your TTRPG games, as well as over on Patreon, Will Savino, be that at his own music Patreon or his recent started project, this fantastic Butter. Oh crap! I forgot the name. What's the full name? Butter's Bound. I found it. It is in my memory bank somewhere. And you can head on over there and give them that. Butterbound is fantastic. They create completely realized settings, urban settings at the moment, but I'm sure there's going to be some other different ones as well. And they give you the map, they give you the locations, lore about the locations, they give you plot hooks to get your adventurers involved. They give you beautiful maps of the location, and they give you tailor-made music for that location as well, from Will Savino. So you should definitely head on over there and give that a look if you can. Now, that's it. That brings us back to us, right here, right now, in Chessenta. And we are going to kick things off in just a moment with a recap and a hi hello to these lovely people over on the far side of the screen. But before we do, let's get in the mood with the fabulous intro from Carolyn, aka Patch from QuestJunkiesUK. Thank you, sir. As we start tonight's Chessenta's Tyranny. See you soon. And we're back. In the words of Vashadin, man, this is pretty incredible. Yes, yes it is. Thank you, Patch. Okay, everyone, if you would also like fabulous intros for your sessions and other projects, do head over to QuestJunkiesUK on the Twitters or on the other places. And you can, I'll do a shout out here. Don't worry, I haven't put that clip thing on yet. So we'll just play a clip in the middle of the stream. Quest Junkies UK. Boom. That is the Twitch channel, and from there you can carry onwards, brave adventurer, to their Twitters and all the links there. All right, so let us carry on here. Last time we were over here in Chessenta, our brave adventurers who had managed to escape from the labor camp where they were languishing, toiling day in and day out through the harsh punishment, unjust punishment, many would say, for the so-called crimes against the states that they had been caught up in. Not even of their own hands for some of them, but
paying the bridge tax.
They were able to
Hashtag fuck the bridge tax.
Solidarity
Oh,
in
this is
chat,
not true.
please. Solidarity in chat for the PPC, rising up against the system. People's Plot of Chessenta. Okay, so we, yes, they were able to escape by being rather smart about things and clever, and with the aid of a mysterious benefactor, one CZRPG, who was here for our first session, and he guided them out and away from their imprisonment through a newly discovered cave system, thanks to Arius, and out into the ocean. Unfortunately for Aris, they then had to immediately leave the ocean and go back towards inland. And as they did
He's
so,
not that sad about it.
okay, good. They found a camp, and that camp belonged to one Carolyn Sturgrove, a arcanist in hiding, with very whites of the eyes. Any of you are waiting to saw the whites of the eyes? You may now fire. Fire at will. And you met up with this band, Carolyn, deciding that it might be a good idea on your journey that you are undertaking to have some resourceful people, as these seem to be, and safety in numbers and all of that jazz. And you destroyed your cut. Tear it to pieces. All of that firewood going to waste, pretending to be a piece of vehicle. And you stuffed that into your strange new bag, which seemed to just keep holding more and more stuff. Holding and holding like the bag of holding, which had appeared mysteriously at your camp, bedecked with scarlet feathers. As you took your new magical items and travelled south. Go south? That doesn't work. You found your way heading towards the town of Meth, where your mysterious benefactor had asked you to meet them a 10-day from now. Travelling through the scrub and white stones bleached from the sun high up in the sky, you met a few people on the road. This is one of the major thoroughfares of the country, so there are people coming and going this way and that. In particular, you bumped into a group of hunters who recognized that your uniforms were a little ill-fitting. But luckily, they were not ones to tell tales, as they were not too pleased with the people in charge either. And they offered to sell you some of the furs that they had caught, and they were on their way to the capital Luthchek to sell, and allowing you to cover up those conspicuous prison camp garbs. And they also warned you that there was a large patrol of mercenaries in the state's employ, just camped a little way down the road. So you headed off into the wilds off the side of the road and gave them a wide berth and safely made it past them and down onwards towards the looming city of Apesco. The looming city of Apesco, shrouded in mist and uncertainty, as we have nothing written on this in the module or the on the wiki or anything. So we turned to the fine folks at Cobalt Press with their town generator and the fine folks in chat, both at the end of last session and earlier today as well. Thank you so much to everyone that joined us earlier. It was actually lovely just to hang out and chat about stuff. Yesterday for some of you, I assume. And we had a very nice time chit-chatting about all sorts of things, to be honest. We got distracted ourselves quite well. But we did also talk and run a few polls about how today might go. And we, as a quick refresher here, what we rolled up last time is that Apesco is situated in foothills. It is a tiered city, so it has these tiers rising up to the top of the hill. It has an imposing marketplace, which is for you to discover, and also a mysterious T-shaped alley, which is rumored to reveal the object of your greatest desire on noon at the summer solstice. Luce, Arius, and Scuff don't actually know this, but Kylin, you would know. They lost track of time as they were working away in the labor camp there. But you are aware that the summer solstice is but a couple of days from now. Very, very soon indeed. And you have a couple of days to travel south as you're making your way towards it. So you might arrive. Now, as players you would know this, well, as characters you would know this, the players maybe not. In the ancient Greek and Egyptian cultures, which are rampant in this part of the Forgotten Realms, due to all the poor Egyptians and Greeks being whisked away from Earth by strange extraplanar beings and dumped here in Faerun, the summer solstice is New Year. So, you are about to arrive in a city amidst their New Year celebrations. As you
Exciting.
Let's
make your way
party.
towards Apesco. Indeed. We also found out someone they're going to meet in the city. A Kenku weaver who loves animals of all kinds, but is allergic to all types of fur.
Oh,
How sad.
Indeed, indeed. Also, there is an encounter that we rolled up as well, but we shall not continue talking about that. The people who were here earlier know all about that. That was what most of our discussions were about. But we look forward to doing that anyway. Now, you had a successful hunting outing. You caught a brace of grouse-like birds and a bunch of fish in the local river, and you cooked them up, much to Aris's dismay. Why are you cooking the fish?
Why are you cooking them?
What are you doing? And then you continued on your way. So, let me, for the first time, introduce all four of you as you tell all those lovely people out there who you are playing, and where they are at right now as our party here, the PPC, approaches the large walls and tiered layers of Apesco. Let's start at the top.
hi. Hi.
Who are you?
My
Who are you
name's-
playing? And where are they at?
My name's Emma, and I'm playing Lucio Lucernus. He is a elfin-inclined individual
Elf-leaning.
who is endlessly positive and a little bit trickstery at heart. So they're looking forward to playing some sick pranks in this new town.
Sick pranks, bro.
Sick pranks. Oh yeah, guys, sick pranks.
Oh wow, yeah, Lily, you're right. That is very Kiwi.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, guys. No, I'm Australian.
So Australian.
Thank you very much. And Carolyn.
Hello, I'm Patch. You may know me as QuestJunkiesUK. Gracious, thank you. I am playing the role of Kellen Sturgrove, who is a lady of curiosity, has now found herself amidst a very interesting group of individuals accompanying her on the road down to Mirth. She's very curious about each of them, but it's just hard to not be travelling such a distance on her own, because that probably wouldn't end well.
Thank you.
So yeah.
Thank you. Okay, and moving on. Arias, please.
My name is Lily, and I'm playing Arias, who is a grumpy sea elf who seems a little bit like a fish out of water, no pun intended. He's clinging to his good friend Luce, even though he's playing off as cool, like he's protecting Luce, but actually he's hiding behind him. He's really intrigued by all the goings on land, and he seems to be avoiding the water, which is an interesting thing for a man who has gills.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, Skoof.
I am Llama. I play Skuffelse, a human warrior, previously a fighter of the Chessenta army itself, but now on a travel to find out why he was thrown in jail, and mostly other things, find out where they're going, and also maybe experience some things with his newfound friends met in.
Thank you.
Also,
Oh,
need to
sorry,
protect
froze up a
all
bit. Okay, thank you. Right, so, dear folks, there you have it. That is our group as they make their way along the road, keeping out of the way of the various horses and carts that are growing more and more frequent as they approach the larger habitation here, this large city from whence the hunters they previously met had come. You arrive here in the mid-morning as you had camped not too far away from the city, just forced to do so by the night coming down and stopping you travelling further that day. But you were but a stone's throw away, and you start to approach the walls of Abesco, which looks a little something like this.
Ooh, is it that? Ooh, it's horrifying, but also really cool.
The weather
like
is
it's
better than this.
It looks like a bit of Rivendell with Mordor looming in the background.
Yeah, I see that.
So, as you approach, you see the various colonnaded temples rising up above the white marble of a great many houses and buildings stretching around the rim of this low hill and reaching up its flanks higher and higher. But as you look up, you see something interesting. Something that maybe is a little different to what you would be used to, or what you would assume. It's the ring of buildings at the very base of the hill, which is the most ostentatious. The grandest, largest, richest looking buildings are arrayed around the foot of the hill. And as you go up, they seem to become a little more mundane, smaller. And as you get to the very top, huddling almost for shelter and comfort around the flanks of a large temple, you see hovels, ramshackle make-do things. And it seems that the status and height to which one's social standing has risen is inversely proportional to which point of the hill you find yourself on here. Thank you, chat, for deciding whether it was going to be the standard way up or upside down. Now, as you are funneled along with a great number of people, there is excited chatter all around you. And, Caroline, as you are aware, and as you may have told the others, it is the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. And tonight, we usher in a new year. Hopefully you hear people around. Hopefully things will be better. Hopefully the food won't keep dwindling. At least tonight there should be a decent spread. And various other slightly miffed grumblings and things going on. What do you say to each other as you approach?
That seems like some kind of place, some kind of great place. It's huge.
Yes, have you noticed? It's strange. The poor live far up in the mountains, whilst the rich lives far down.
Is that not normal?
No, that seems to make sense. I guess rich people don't want to walk very far.
Then again, didn't they say that rich people tend to always look down on other people?
Yeah.
Maybe this is them to say, we're not part of your establishment, thank you very much.
I wouldn't think there's some other reason. Maybe something in the mountains that makes it unsafe to live further up, or...
We should go ask someone. Alright, stop
Probably.
looking ahead.
Okay.
You know what they say about curiosity?
No,
What do they
what
say
do
about
they say?
it? Make sure you tell Arius in very explicit terms. He doesn't understand those things.
It's,
Not the cat! No.
don't worry, your cat is safe.
John, does a stray cat run across the road at this point?
Well, actually, funny you should mention that. As you do approach closer, you do see the little pointy ears and rounded tops of some very large cat statues throughout the city. It seems there may be a cult of Bastet here. And I mean, yeah, don't take Baz, pay homage.
Pay homage to gods and
Cult of Bastet, got it.
Hey Thamio.
Bastet!
Baron Dragonborn, welcome back. Good to see you again.
Hello, Bastet!
That's what it's going down in my notes.
Oh wow. Okay, Emma, I'm going to need you to redraw Shadov's art with Baz's face on it.
100%.
Yep.
Oh, right. Thank you. Now, hush, Baz, stop interrupting. Now, as you do continue with the flow, you see. Sorry, I'm trying to find something. I need. Where has it gone? Yes, Bast, I see you. That. There we go. Okay. Arius, newest to the channel. Roll me a d6. And Frozen?
Llama, I think that might be you.
Oh, no. Yes, Arius, roll me a d6, please.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, my ears.
oh!
D6.
Yes, please.
1.
Thank you.
It's never
Okay.
good.
As you approach, you see the guards aligned at the gates. And a very interesting array of setup here, as usually the gates would lead directly into the city. But from where the gates are in the outer wall, it immediately climbs a ramp up, ascending to the higher levels without going through the lowest level at all. And you see... Let's see here, see if we've got anything. Yes, okay. Excuse me.
Mario starts wondering about the ramp tax, whether we have to pay it.
I watch him intently.
Is there a bridge?
He will not be crossing any bridges legally.
All right. So, you, as you approach here, see the guards on the gates, and you notice a certain difference about them to the other people passing and milling around you. All of these guards, Caroline, you recognize them as being from the mercenary company, the All-in-One, one of the mercenary companies brought in from outside to help police the whole region. All of them are Genasi. In particular, here on the front gates, there are several fire Genasi and earth Genasi.
Fascinating.
Air Genasi, if you're looking in chat, now's the time to say hello. Now, you kind of pull a hood up and pop your collars and try and keep as low a profile as possible, and you are ushered forward through these looming gates with their kind of Greek style kind of geometric patterns around the edges and bolts of kind of copper coloured metal reinforcing them throughout, and they tower to either side of you as you pass through. But again, immediately you do not get a view of this first layer of the city as you are immediately rising up a relatively steep incline. You see that the wagons have slowed down as their teams of oxen or horses work hard to pull the wares up to the more mundane parts of the city. There are off-ramps, for want of a better word, and there are little ways that go off down the sides, wide enough, and you see a I always think about, wonder and ponder how to pronounce this properly. Is it a palanquin? Is that the right word?
Yeah, palanquin.
Palanquin, yep. Okay, yeah. So they see a palanquin being borne by shirtless, tired-looking, road-weary slaves as they bear it on their shoulders, and its towering form with curtained windows and gilt shining on the edges turns off from this ramp and down one of these off-ramps, and the Genasi of the All-in-One mercenary company slam to attention behind it, cutting off the way down. But you do get a glimpse past them as it opens for the palanquin to go through, and you see the opulent buildings, courtyards, tinkling fountains, and vines of grapes and figs draped over trellises and columns and statuary all throughout this lower, richest part. And you think you might get one glimpse as to why they are down here as you look over towards the river, the large river that flows past the edge of the hill here. On the edge there are beautiful parks and gardens given life by the river and its waters, and those seem to be reserved for those who truly understand the grace and form of such exquisite hard work.
Can't reserve water. Arius looks furious.
The place is beautiful, though. With the houses, the vines, and the grapes.
The nice river.
It's a nice river. Yeah, mate.
So, is there anybody of a certain level of pomp and circumstance about?
That palanquin
Perhaps
just
a rotund man,
veered off and it went off towards the side there.
or a
Let's say,
sharp, angular woman with a little umbrella.
I'll go you one
Looks like
better.
she looks down on people.
I'll go one better. There is a rotund man with a sharp angular woman in he's in the crook of her elbow,
Of course,
as they are descending from what seems to be a kind of mercantile and kind of shopping district, which is the next layer up, and they're coming back down with a hamper of something.
Okay, I want to. I want to look to Arius, and I want to pull the group to the side, and I want to say, so another reason why I think we'll enjoy this place is because there are plentiful opportunities to pull pranks, and I see one right here, right now. How about we get one over on these little people who sit by the river and seem to be hoarding all this water?
Can you explain to me the difference between pranks and violence?
No, I really can't, to be honest.
As much as I
Maybe
think
no
this
bloodshed?
As much as I think this is a dreadful idea, I won't lie, I'm particularly curious.
I think possibly we should keep a low profile for a while. We wouldn't want to cause any disturbances that could set us in ill favor with the guards in this place.
But,
Yes,
but
that's what I meant to say. Yes, that. Yes.
But they're just begging to be pranked. Look at them.
What's your idea?
They've been
Luce?
shopping. I want to perhaps try and sell them some flowers that might break them out in hives. Just for fun.
I'm just going to write this down just for later. This is fascinating.
How about you do that when we're about to leave the city, in case they put out a manhunt for a small, curly-haired man with leaves?
I prefer if your pranks were less painful.
More painful.
Less painful.
More painful.
Equally painful? Sorry, I don't want to take sides.
More painful, it's decided.
Luce is going to sneak away very quickly.
And, hey, buddy.
He is going to stealth up to them.
Uh-huh.
That's a natural one.
Falls on them.
Dear friends, if you've got 'em, let 'em fly. Natural ones in chat for Luce. As Luce scampers away from the three of you before you can grab hold of them and disappears off amongst the throngs of people here, beelining towards these folks that they want to show what's what. Are you trying to pickpocket them, or?
My hands are full of poison oak.
Okay,
And
so
I'm
you
reaching
think
for
you're being
them
very,
with
very
out-
stealthy and making your way over them to surprise them, and the woman turns, looking directly down the pointed angle of her nose, and what she sees is you towards her. And she immediately thrusts the rotund man in your direction. She's like, Artemius, deal with
To
that!
bounce off him.
Guards! Guards! And
I'm
you hear
a
something, as a contingent of Genasi guards breaks away from the nearest off-ramp and starts running towards you. What do you do?
This is a misunderstanding. I am a poison oak merchant. It's a horrible life. Sales have been down for years.
I will give you one more chance. Give me a deception check.
Oh no. Oh, it's a 16. 19.
Okay. The rotund gentleman gains his balance as he nearly bumps into you from the shove from his wife, and he looks over. He's like, "We don't want any of your smelly leaves. Go away!" And just like pushes at you.
Ouch.
I return to the group if they allow me to.
Arius is on the floor laughing. He found that hilarious.
Skiff is sweating profusely. Like,
Scuff. You know the Apothecars will not let that slide. A disturbance here on the causeway.
yeah.
And you look over, and lo and behold, the Genasi are still beelining towards you.
Oh no.
We should get out of here. Like, we'll.
Okay, let's
Unless
run
you're
away.
really good at talking to people, because that's yeah, no, you causing problems for us right now. Let's
Wait,
go.
I have something. I'm gonna cast, as we leave, a fog cloud, so we can slip away unnoticed.
Oh boy.
Luce joins the group. It's like, oh.
Now, remember,
It's divine, though.
it is, but the regular rank and file guards do not know what kind of magic.
Arius doesn't know this.
Okay, please do so.
Cool. As they're slowly starting to speed up, Arius will just behind them.
So, with a whoosh, this
Like, wow, who did that?
water vapor it just expands and fills the walkway. There are startled cries and screams. One of them seems to be slightly worrisome, as it seems someone in the fog has stumbled off the edge of the causeway, and they disappear off down the side.
That's a prank. That is a
Wilhelm,
prank.
is that you?
And
No.
you hear a small hand gong being held by one of these Genasi that was coming your way, suddenly being clanged, like clink, 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 and more booted footsteps come charging in your direction, but they cannot see you right now, and you are approaching quickly to the merchant level, the next layer of the town, with its multiple colored stands and stalls, awnings, projects things hanging down, goods, wares, stacks of
Let's
delightful
cover loose.
looking dates and snacks and spices, and there are lots and lots of enticing looking alleyways leading off amongst the
Oh, I was gonna
storefronts.
actually say, do I look down one of the alleyways and see a lovely like balloon arch which just says "Escape guaranteed" because it's my greatest desire.
That's my greatest desire.
Actually, Luce, more than that, you look over to one side and you kind of stop for a moment as you see down one of the alleyways off to the side there. It winds amongst the buildings, but there are bluebells sprouting from either side, lining the sides of this pathway, and down the end is a quaint cottage door. The perfect place to hide.
Friends, this way.
Lucas just runs an empty alley. What?
Okay, so the rest of you
follow.
quickly follow after Luce, who was already running, so just barreled past you at the back of the previous spot, and you just sort of in their wake go charging over there and die out into the alleyway before the fog dissipates or the Genasi come exploding out of it. And
Skiff is gonna make sure that
See what
everyone's
I see,
in
John?
before.
yes,
I'll go.
Scuff, go for it.
Skiff's gonna make sure that everyone's in before he enters and closes the door.
Before you pass, do what's right?
Skiff's gonna make sure that everyone's in
Inside?
before he enters and closes the door.
Oh, okay. Well, you're just running into the alleyway here. The door is down the far end. But thank you. Luce, you were next. What?
Yes.
What?
Sorry, I just have to get something.
That's okay.
I have a question. So, Luce, of course, is a good place to hide, a beautiful, idyllic little door. But does anyone else do the same thing as Luce does?
Well, I was getting to that. As you rush down towards this alleyway, the rest of you falling behind, and as all of you round the corner into this alleyway, there's a slight give to the air at the entrance to the alleyway. Like it was slightly more tangible than the air on the street. Much like disembarking from the plane, Narita, the first time you arrive in Japan. And you're like, oh, this is humidity.
Oh god. Oh, I've never known heat before this moment.
Yes, and the air wraps around you. You actually find yourself kind of pushing against this slight give, and all of you experience something a little different as you run into this alleyway. Luce, you continue running between these bluebells sprouting up from the cobbles themselves, it seems, and the edges where the dust and detritus has gathered and must have given enough matter for these plants, these flowers to grow. And you see that cottage down the far side with damn it, what's Fuji in English?
Fuji?
The hanging flowers. Is it high?
Oh, like wisteria.
Wisteria, thank you. Sorry.
I thought you meant like Mount Fuji. I was like, dude, I don't know what to tell you.
Fuji flowers. Yes, wisteria. Yeah. Wisteria is just cascading off either side, and the perfect colour to match the bluebells that cluster even more fiercely round the doorway with its cute little carved wooden window frame on the inviting-looking entranceway here. Arius, Carolyn, and Scuff, you see something different. Carolyn, as you pass into the alleyway, you see you're not the first to run into this place. There are others. And there's a strange whooshing sound. And a sparkle of light. And you see something you never dared hope to see. You see people practicing magic openly, and who's that down the far end of the alleyway, in a ring of children looking up attentively, wide-eyed, beaming smiles, leaning on their every word? You see your father. He can't be here, but he's there right in front of you, and you see the children learning magic, learning to use magic in the open here, tucked away in this alley, fair enough, but not forbidden, not hidden away in some cave. Scuff. You see Luce, Carolyn, and Arius running in ahead of you, making sure everyone's tucked away and out of sight. As the Genasi come thundering down the road outside, you also duck into the shadows and lean against the wall as they continue, confusedly thinking that you would run further into the merchant district. And as you turn, you see the 4 people ahead of you running. 4? No, there's 3 of them. And you see, ahead of Luce, at the front of your group, another figure. Their hair cascading down over their shoulders. The cloak your mother gave them on their 10th birthday. Faded and worn, but the same patterns unmistakable, billowing out behind them as they run. They turn, the glimpse of their face as the hair just falls back over the ear. Come on, Scuff. You'll never find me. And you see your sister running down the alley, disappearing around the end where it forms a T-junction at the far end. Arius, there must be some kind of irrigation system or some kind of aquifer or something. It's you come rushing out and you hear the sound of water, calmly lapping water, and you see almost a mirrored surface as you find yourself on the shore of, it can't be the ocean, not here, but it's all calm. No storms, no monsters of the deep, no waves, except for one splash, splash, splash. And out there, just off the shore, doing backstroke. You see Luce. And shouting out, "Come on, Arius! It's lovely!"
Arius tries to tiptoe around the water. He's like,
Oh my
This is
gosh,
so
don't
weird.
Get in the water. Oh my god.
Luce, you rush for the door, you reach out, the handle, gorgeously carved, twisting, inviting to be opened, and for you to take refuge inside, a little hideaway from the world. It turns as if almost of smoke, dust, siphoned off,
Oh.
drawing away. Carolyn, the figures, another swoosh of magic. The sparkles, you follow it, but when you look back around, the children, your father, drawn off like smoke, caught in a breeze, up high. Scuff, you're almost up to behind them. You're gonna get them this time. They're not gonna hide from you. You reach out your hands towards their shoulder. They erupt into smoke, being drawn up higher and away. Arius, you see this water suddenly pitch and erupt up as if a violent explosion has gone off underneath the surface, and all lifted up, with Luce drawn with it, up and away. And you see over and above Luce and Arius with the highest passive perception. You see a figure, diminutive in size, fabulous jacket, tailored, hanging off the side, as is one leg with a long leather boot, idly kicking backwards and forwards, as all of these visions, each of you seeing your own particular vision, drawn up, sucked away. He lets out a sigh. Magnifique. Leaps to his feet and scuttles from the ledge he was sitting on directly up the face of the wall, over the edge of the roof, and disappears.
Like a beetle.
say, oi, you.
Guys, the door disappeared.
Oh no, what this place is.
I saw a door which was really nice, and that's why I came down here to thought we could escape. Is there anywhere else we can go?
All of you find yourselves at the end of this T-junctioned alleyway. And you look, and there are just the smooth walls with a few cracks here and there. The stonework beneath showing through the plaster where it's fallen away from the eyes of the populace of
So I
Episco.
know, Scuff knows where, which way his, which direction his sister turned, right? To the left or right?
She was running towards the left before she
Maybe
disappeared.
this way, everyone. My sister, she showed me. She wouldn't lead me astray. We must be safe to this way.
There was a
What?
guy.
What did they look like?
Lucy,
Oh.
you saw him too.
Oh yeah. Should we
I
not
think
follow
we're being
him?
bamboozled.
Is this a bamboozling?
I think that's the word
Oh
to
damn
use.
it.
The walls on either side of the alleyway here are just sheer. There's no way to climb up to where they were, or where they
Very
continue
cool.
to disappear themselves. So, Scuff, you lead the way and you kind of head round the corner into this left part of the alleyway, and there's a kind of strange mist hanging in the air.
That's not me this time.
a strange mist that fills the alleyway, and emerging from it there is a figure. There is a humanoid starting to walk towards you. Out of the mist. An elven...
It's my bro!
An elven-looking figure. Handsome. Could this be all of your true desires?
Maybe.
Hello, Swag.
Yeah. As this figure emerges, you hear him having what sounds to be a rather raucous argument. He's going, "Splitting hell, Zohath! We put the bags in the inn, then we go to the archives, and we find out about this figure. I don't know how the hells you think you're gonna find out anything when you can't even pronounce the word fuck. Fuck.
You hear a distant, muffled... Oh, where did he go? Bye.
Hi. You're right.
You over there with your Halloween backdrop.
I know. Apologies for that. I'll probably adjust it in just a second.
No worries, no worries. Who are you? Who are you playing?
Well,
And
now.
where on earth are they at?
I am playing as Tyranny, who has appeared on another of your streams.
Mm-hmm.
However, at that point, I was more interacting with my brother at the time.
Mm.
You've changed. You've changed, bro. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I like what you've done with the leaves, I guess.
I'm a little fairy man now.
That is not your brother.
It's not my bro.
Now that became painfully apparent. Tyrannex is the name I go by, and though I look elven, anyone who has sight beyond sight will see that's possibly not quite correct.
Now, Tyrannex, this must be a wrong turn or something. The architecture's changed. The Egyptian, excuse me. The the Circanian walls and style of wall covering has been replaced by almost a marble-like stone, whiter, brighter against the sun, even reflected down from the alley mouth. And you see these strange people in front of you, not your friends. You look back the other way, you see a mist dissipating behind you, and the distant other parts of the alleyway. You don't even see any tabaxi at all. But you are slightly buffeted as those cats that were with you in that alleyway, 6 of them, come dashing past, going through the legs of these people in front of you, separating out and going off in different directions in the alleys, off out of the alley's mouth.
Where am I? I think he's going to look at the group that's in front and sort of pick the one that seems the most likely to have an understanding of what's going on. Let me take a look at your character art. All right. That would probably be Carolyn. She has a book. Looks like they might know what's going on. So this, where am I, rapidly becomes this eye movement towards the one sane-looking individual. And now I'm fixated on Carolyn.
You made a good
Good
choice.
heavens, you've picked the person just as confused as you are, darling. This is an alleyway. Where do you think you are?
No. I have no idea. I'm getting kind of used to these abrupt summonings in a weird, twisted way, but... city name?
A pesco.
Bless you.
Isn't tight.
Thank you.
You're
Right,
also a
it's-
fan of the jokes, I see.
Tee-hee! Soletine, there were cats before, and now there's no cats.
We're in the country
Basil,
of
come here.
Chessenta.
I'm in a what now?
Country of Chessenta.
There's a cat.
Over the region.
Okay. Oh, no, there's one cat. Excuse me, I think I'll be guided by this. Mr. Cat, any idea how to get home?
You must follow the path laid out for you by the dungeon master.
Not the weirdest thing I've ever dealt with. Not the weirdest thing I've ever dealt with.
No.
Not the weirdest thing I've ever trusted to give me life advice, for that matter.
Tyranny, the cat has the right of it. You have heard of Chessenta. It is a large kingdom far off to the east, far away from Waterdeep, across the Honorok Desert, on the Sea of Fallen Stars. Thank you, Belliger. Sorry, I'm slowly sorting the overlay.
Tyranny vaguely remembers something about it. Cloudsail was trying to explain, and Tide was giving him some nautical advice, but it was kind of going in one ear and coming out the other, because Tyranny was like, I don't need to know this shit. There's people that know this shit. They know what they're doing. I trust them. I trust what's happening. So I'm like, oh. Okay. How do I leave Placenta?
And when you enter, I assume.
Okay. I'm not. One thing I'm not used to is being summoned in situations where all the hells aren't breaking loose. Are we?
Everything's fine, to be honest. We were just being chased by some guards. We've
How did
got
we
like
summon
9
an
hit
elf?
points. We can't really go up against the hells.
Bye, fourth wall.
Why do I feel like I'm about to get pranked by you? Something about you just says. There's a.
Hold out a hand
Yeah,
with some leaves on it. Would you like one?
Don't accept her poison ivy, please.
I'm a boy.
Tyranny had one hand out when you said that, and immediately just retracts it.
It's not poison ivy, I promise you.
Well, could I have that in writing, please? Tyranny says
Yeah,
as he reaches for a piece of paper from a case.
Right, Iris, will you witness my
Hats.
signing? I want this to be as honest as possible.
What makes it different if you say it versus if you sign it? It's both verbal communication written.
Oh yes,
I
I know.
think you guys are going to bump heads.
It's a little quirk of mine. I do apologize. I've had a lot of people verbally say things to me that have been lacking in the truth department before. However, I find that if they're willing to write it down, generally speaking, they're willing to put their their money where their mouth is.
Arius is going real close to this guy and he's just like squinting. How did we summon an elf? Are you a demon?
No. And he actually looks intensely offended by this.
Kelly's
No, I
totally,
I want to
not.
put my... I put my
Kelly's
leaves
totally
away.
making an insight check on
Please.
this.
I made an inside check.
John, do feel free to give them advantage. I do believe my little verbal slip.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hold
okay.
on. Yeah.
Okay, that
Actually,
is
can I assist Arius?
24.
Holding Tyranny still.
Hold on. Wait, assistance?
Creepy insight check music.
21.
Guys, I think we summoned a demon.
I got 24.
John, do you want me to make any kind of contested check? I'm quite happy to let that slide.
I mean, no. I mean, he was. Yeah, he does seem to have ulterior motives for his comments, and was genuinely angered by the mention of being a demon.
Arius bats the piece of paper away. No.
I do that sort of that as I try and catch it out the air, and then I'm like, okay, all right, fine. Then I'm not going to take those plants, says Tyranny.
It's okay, they were stinging nettles, and I somehow feel like they probably wouldn't hurt you anyway.
You could just throw them on people. You really don't have to ask permission.
I cover my head.
Are we being surrounded
No,
by
I won't
guards
do
at
it.
the minute?
That was kind of what I was getting at earlier.
No, actually, I mean, they do. Whatever strange magic it was that was creating this illusory effect here, as you hear noonday bells ringing off somewhere in the city, as the temples call the huddled masses of needy to have their lunch, their midday meal. There does not seem to be any Genasi heading in your direction. And you feel very safe going back out into the thoroughfare, you'd think, because they did not get a good look at you, especially with that fog cloud.
Thanks, Arius. You really saved our bacon.
You are not pigs.
Yeah. Hey,
Yes, I'm going
Thank
to
you.
write that. Going to write that magic down as well. It's another one for my collection. Very good. Very
Loose.
good.
You guys
Hey,
are obsessed
stop.
with writing things.
Can we make a deal loose? I'll allow you to
That
find
sounds a lot
someone.
like what he
Can
was
we-
offering me before.
Yeah, no writing here. Just
Thank you.
like, if you want to prank someone, can we do it on the way out? That way we can, run into the wild and hide instead of in here.
I won't pull any more pranks.
Before we leave, I will allow when we leave. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
No pranks.
I don't
Why
believe
don't
that
I
for a
trust
second.
This is a prank right now. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
How are you reacting to this elf?
Did we get anything from the insight with the demon comment?
He was angry.
He was angry.
Mhm.
Why are you angry? Explain.
I don't know where I am. I'm being accused unjustly of things. And where in the bloody hells did that cat go?
Oh,
He is a cat person. That is what we have discerned.
Why do we start from the beginning? What's your name?
Oh, yes, of course. Tyrannex. Tyrannex is my name. And who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
Don't
Oh,
tell him your name, he might take your soul. I've heard rumors about.
I suspect we're fine. My name is Kellen Sturgrove, and the pleasure is most definitely yours.
Tyrannex doesn't bat an eye. He's apparently dealt with a lot of people who have that sort of attitude towards him. It's like,
Arius looks very suspicious. He's hiding behind Luce's very short stature.
oh. I look up at Arius and I'm like, Shush. You don't want me to tell him my name.
I have superstitions, Luce. Don't offer me.
Okay. My name is Lulu.
Oh. Too soon.
you've grown a little since the last time I saw you.
name is Scuff. So, yeah,
Pleasure to meet you, Scuff. And
I'm sure it's a pleasure to meet you too.
You know, it's funny, but this conversation is still going better than 90% of the conversations I usually have when I first meet people.
What kind of conversations
You
do
know-
you have?
Oh,
Yeah.
ones involving cats. Did you see where they
Oh,
went?
cool.
You really like cats.
Oh, I am enamored by 6 cats in particular.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, absolutely.
6 is a scary number.
They oh, you are a cat.
That balance, so good.
Listen, I'm very, very lost.
I say,
Why don't you just have a day off?
how about we find a tavern, possibly a place where we can all just
Quick
relax.
shout out for anyone.
and
Quick
talk
shout
and-
out for anyone doing their home scientific experiments. Shade on shade does he actually create darker shade? Okay, that is.
Actually. Oh, shit. It's
Sorry,
true.
Sorry,
There's so
Steph.
much shade now.
Yes, somewhere to stay. A good idea.
Hey, I mean, You seem to have a lot on your mind, and just from looking at your general kind of demeanor, you seem really tired. Why don't you just take a day off and relax and visit this great town, and maybe you'll find a way to get home just by chance.
Yes, stranger things have happened.
Great.
No one wants my company this badly. Now I'm suspicious of Lulu.
I feel personally attacked.
What does it? Sorry, Pat. What does Tyrannax look like?
You can see down. You can see around his chin. I did switch my background.
I put your token on the overlay as well.
Okay.
Hey, Ron, I can put the full piece in the window for you there.
Not to waste too much time on it, he looks like
giant.
you're fair. Whoa, there we go. You're fairly generic, relatively handsome. Not stunningly so, but handsome in the way that most elves are. Relatively nondescript. Handsome in the way that elves are handsome. No, not particularly taller, not particularly shorter than you would expect an elf to be. He's wearing a rather rugged traveler's coat at this point, by which I mean a bit ripped and torn. He's not really paid much attention to the good keeping of that. The only other unusual thing that you would note about him is that's immediately obvious is that at his belt hangs what seems to be dozens of scroll cases, each of differing sizes, with a single large book hanging down his hip on one side, and a whole mass of scroll cases on the other side.
Are they to write soul contracts with?
I plead the fifth.
Arius is like hanging back. He doesn't tend to get involved with human affairs, but it seems that he knows a very small amount about religion, and he's just clinging to superstition. He's like, no. And he's hanging back.
You're not going to get involved. Is it too much?
I know when to stay out of scary things. Sometimes.
It's very astute of you. You're very sensible.
Arius kind of woo-woos to the corner.
A quick question to our new friend. While there's no one else about. Are you versed in the ways of magic by any chance?
Are you a mage killer?
No, I was
Yes.
just going to say
Mercy killer.
if you are well versed in the ways of magic, don't be.
Yeah, no.
In Chessenta, it is punishable by death in some cases.
Oh,
So
I really-
keep it on down low.
Divine
Yeah.
magic is okay. Arius peers over.
Again, most people don't know the difference between fine. I'm not even gonna try.
Tyrannax is having a current sort of crisis of faith, shall we say, as he's not entirely certain what his powers would be constituted as. Not divine, surely. However, he's now he's like he looks at Kaelin and he just goes, then no.
Ah,
Wise.
good.
I said yes to being a mage killer earlier because I thought it would be funny, and then I realised it was probably very insensitive. I'm sorry.
Quick
Actually.
question, actually. Still looking at Carolyn, as she's the one that brought this up. Supposing you cast the magic before you arrived, would that be acceptable?
I suppose if they couldn't trace it back to you, I can't say I've practiced it myself, nor would I wish to. I'm very brittle. Yes, I'm like a cardboard box left out in the rain. Very delicate.
I have some experience with that myself. Well, I personally haven't cast much myself, but most of the time it's not traceable. You can get away with a lot of things as long as you as long as you cover up for it well.
Kellen is now almost directly in front of Scuff, book and quill in hand. We've been travelling this whole time and you not once mentioned anything about this. Please tell me everything I need to know.
Not here. Later. Different place.
Okay, but soon. It is of the utmost
Yes.
importance.
And
Yes.
I also
I'm
have
sure
to
you will
mention that of the
experience
utmost importance is making
shall-
some money so we can afford to stay somewhere.
I shall touch the tip of his nose with my quill. That's a
Oh,
promise.
that's so cute. Friends, we need money. And whilst I'm very happy to just take some, perhaps we should earn some too.
Yes. That seems.
I don't want to do work.
Okay, well maybe some of us we can split into two groups, and some of us can steal, and some of us can work. That seems fair.
Why don't we sit on the side and ask for it?
You want to beg for money? That might work.
Not begging, going up to people and demanding.
My
Well,
when I
That's
was
more
a
of a
child,
shakedown.
when I was a child, my father used to tell me, Kellen, if you ever find yourself at a party, never split it up.
Oh, I
It always
see.
ends badly.
Okay,
Bravo.
so should
Seems
we
like wise
work,
words.
beg, steal, or mug? These seem to be our four options.
Let's ask the
I'm-
demon. I hear demons are good at making money. He peers over his shoulder.
No, this is awesome. I've been with you guys for 5 minutes, and you're already a hell of a lot more fun to roll with than my normal group.
Oh,
All of the above sounded
I'm
great.
telling.
No,
People
I
usually-
mean,
People usually
mugging-
tell me I'm a bit salty.
hey.
You seem to have a
and-
pretty even pH level.
And a bit of a bastard sometimes, Patch. A bit of a bastard.
Enough
All
of
these inside jokes. I'm sorry.
self-indulgent bastards. Come on.
Hey,
I'm
you
gonna get one
made,
of those
you made this
pH
happen.
testing strips, and I'm just gonna stick it to Kaelin's forehead for Arius's benefit.
I'm just like, yeah, mugging, stealing. These sound great.
Demon.
Begging. Oh, yeah.
Demon.
No, please stop calling me that.
I'd rather not us earn our money in illegal factions like that.
Yeah, that's
These people, they're working to manage their own lives, and we should make do with what we have, like they do.
At this point, Scuff, Arius, and Luce all suddenly hear Kellen's voice in their head.
Oh, sick.
Ari screams.
Then I scream.
Luce's
As-
arms are just stinging nettle bushes, and he's like, "I'll fight you! What is happening?"
as in their heads, they hear Kellen say, "You know, we could get this chap to do all the stealing and things. If he gets caught, we don't know."
He's a demon and he deserves it.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah, he says it out loud.
Can they
This is
reply,
like-
Carolyn?
Arius says it out loud. He doesn't understand how this works.
Tyranny, can you roll me a perception check?
Doesn't actually say.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I'm the most perceptive person in the world. I don't even know if I heard that.
It doesn't say that you can. I think that they can. Yes.
Sorry, was that Oh my god, was that
Perception,
perception?
Yes.
That's an 11. Minus one.
minus
perception.
Fun.
I've never played a character with -2 the perception. It's like the stupid.
It's okay.
Anyway, yes.
I was going 50-50 on the roll because you've spent a lot of time with this person, so it's easy to spot. You would bet some of those sheaves of parchment in your belt. Carolyn's Kalashtar.
Oh god.
Z-
No, that's not Tyrannex, that's John. Tyrannex goes, oh hells.
The face is so symmetrical, and you've only seen that level of perfection on one other Yorkshireman's face. No, sorry. Yes, there are very, very strong similarities to Shivekri.
Right. Alright. As soon as I figured that one out, I'm not as interested in talking to Carolyn anymore.
Objects.
I want to sort of like, as I hear Arya speak out loud, I just go la 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 la. Tyranny, perhaps you could help us get some coin.
Uh-huh.
Don't you think?
I mean,
That's a good idea.
A brisk
Wait.
Just off
walk,
the top of my head.
a brisk walk
Wait,
down
is-
the alley behind you does not look like it's going to have the same effect as just happened in Artemen.
What about a sprint?
You could certainly try.
I now raise an eyebrow and I'm like, wait, is this the mugging?
Oh, you know
I think this
what?
would be a bad idea. You shouldn't mug demons.
I don't think it
Bad
is.
luck.
I've just got Ben in my mind from Viva the League. What are we? Muggers.
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 What do we do? We
Muggle.
mug people.
We're mug people.
Okay.
Let's
Forget the PPC,
go.
we're the muggers.
Mug him.
Democracy has fallen to chaos and anarchy.
Shout out to Viva the League.
It could be, but I don't think it should be.
This is feeling more and more like put your coin purse on the ground and nobody gets hurt. Like, this is feeling, I mean, I've been threatened by a lot of people before in my life, and I think I can recognize a threat when
Look.
I hear one.
No.
Everyone, look.
Tyrannex is going to get out of this alley without being mugged and be quite disappointed. It's like, there was 4 of you. What were you doing?
Buggy pile!
Look, we don't have to mug anyone. We're in a trader's district, okay? I'm sure there's traders here that need help carrying stuff, maybe unloading carts. I'm sure there's honest work we could take.
No,
Arius
no,
makes
no,
the
I'm-
Florence Pugh face.
No, sorry, Scuff, no, you misunderstand. I'm totally down for this. How much do you need?
Oh,
Wait, what?
like 600 gold?
Oh, I can't do that. No.
Like- 300 gold?
I can get us an inn thing if we want to go to the tavern, and I can pay for drinks.
Oh
While
yeah,
we
have to
sort
sign for
things
that.
out.
sure. I quite like anything, a good drink.
I must admit, I'm very curious at the prospects of Luce being drunk.
I don't think
I don't
No,
know if
that-
it's going to exacerbate Luce's personality or
He was probably
Dumb it
thinking
down.
more along the lines of an orange juice.
Yeah, I like it. I like a good glass of milk. Also, Tyrannex, I'm thinking of the old adage: if you teach a man to fish, then he can be able to fish for the rest of his life. So maybe you could teach us to steal things.
That's not true. Some people are just really bad at fishing.
Anyway,
Don't get out the joke.
I mean, Carolina actually now hears a voice in her head,
fun.
and it's Tyrannex's voice. And it's... Is Lulu even old enough to drink?
there's a pause and then you get a reply like, "Are you flirting with me, young man?"
Ooh.
Another voice. I'm not entirely sure what that is.
Aw.
That wasn't a no.
Now, you make your way towards the end of the alleyway where you can see the bustling hordes of people making their way across your field of view. There seems to be a different energy on the streets than as you were arriving. And you notice something that's you hadn't seen before as you were making your mad dash away. Something very different to the people that were making their way into the city from outside, the people who are already inside are moving around. There seems to be an exorbitant amount of bird folk. You see Arakokra,
Look at all these chickens.
Kenku, Gallus, Strigs, large burly owls. Hell, we're nearly there. We've almost got the book. You see a couple of owlins walking by. Strixhaven's not quite out, but very soon. And there does seem to be a larger portion of bird folk here than you have seen elsewhere. You've seen them before. They exist throughout Chessenta. The humble folk spread throughout the Forgotten Realms, as do Arakokra and Kenku as well. They seem to be various levels of society. Some are very well dressed, some are dressed more in simple clothes, but the smarter end of their wardrobe, there seems to be people that are dressed for an occasion. And you see a few kids go running by and they've got little paper lanterns hanging off little chains on sticks. And the light, orange, green, purple, bobs by quickly. And you make your way out into the streaming throngs of all kinds of people. As I said, predominantly birdfolk, but then there's also, humans, and elves, and half-orcs, and all kinds of people coming and going this way and that. And as you come out of the gloom of the alley, you do not blink against the light of day, as something strange happened in that alleyway. You heard those noonday bells ringing as you were talking with this new Tyrannex fellow, but as you step out onto the street here, it is a dusky orange with streaks of pink across the crests of the inverse waves of the clouds above.
Arius looks suspiciously at Tyrannex.
How long were we talking?
Is this a demon thing? I look at Arius for confirmation. Is this a demon?
I don't know.
Oh shit!
But I'm suspicious.
I said a naughty word.
Carolyn? Do you know what's going on here?
Faintest idea, but I'm fascinated.
It's scary. Time doesn't flow like this.
Generally, no. It tends to do the same thing over and over. Eternally.
It's a groundhog.
One test, Carol. Do you mind joining me back in the alley and seeing if we walk the other way, if it changes back?
10 hours later.
I was about to say exactly that. Well, I was going to go 5 years, but yeah. Okay. Okay, so you do dip back into the alleyway and back out again, but there is no distortion, no resistance of the air on the edge of the alley anymore. It seems the effect is temporary. Maybe only at noon on the summer solstice.
Oh damn.
Oh damn.
We now know that Arius's true desire is loose.
No, why
I
would you
don't know this.
expose him like
Loose
that?
But we know.
Wait, does that mean everyone's collective desire was Tyrannex? Because that's a little messed up.
Apparently.
I said that as you were looking in.
No.
I was like, oh. I mean, he's decent looking, but... Hey, Silva.
How tall is Tyrannex?
Oh, that is an excellent question.
This could be a deal breaker. Could be a deal breaker.
Oh no.
No, sorry, if I'm remembering this correctly, elves are average height is like 5'8" or something like that.
There it was.
Ah, cool.
So
Arius is looming over Tyrannex like, oh hello.
I mean, if you're looming over me, Tyrannex is just looking up like.
Please, back in your books.
It's like, I'm watching you.
Noted.
Oh, let's head on out, shall we? Let's find a quiet place.
Now, whatever it is that time has done to this goings on here, you all feel a rumbling and a growling in your bellies. Something has afflicted you. No, you're just hungry. It's okay. You walked all morning and skipped lunch, so you need to find somewhere to stay, somewhere to eat, some means to do that. Although this Tyranny fellow seems to be slightly of a generous nature, if you'll merely sign this agreement. And then you get a waft. Scents billowing up from stalls and carts dotted around the street. Little throngs, clusters of birdfolk and other people around them in their festival attire as music plays from a nearby tavern, its windows thrown open to the evening air, and light and music spilling forth in equal parts from the interior. Swag, Tyrannix, as our guest here, would you roll me a D... What was it? You just did this the other day. A D10. I'm going to use that same table from our time in.
God. Okay then. That would be a 3.
Thank you. you just ate this. You're like, oh, I'm good.
Oh God. Oh, that's fine then. Every time you laugh now, John, you've conditioned me to just have a minor heart attack. I'm like, roll a d6. I'm like, oh, it was a 5, and you go, and I go, I'm rolling a new character.
Because it was the same thing. Because it was the same thing, and it's slightly in bad taste here with all these birdfolk around. As you see a vendor selling pigeon meat roasted with sugar and almonds.
Okay, I as a player think that's horrifying. Tyranny loves the fact that these people apparently are cannibalistic. That is incredible.
No, come on. It's been very, very widely. It's like Disney. Are they wearing clothes or not?
Oh my god! I look at Arius and I look at these birds and I know that Arius is a fish person, has eaten fish before, so I look at the pigeon and I'm like, this seems fine.
Arius looks remarkably unaffected. He seems to accept cannibalism as the natural order in some species. Completely fine with it.
Okay, there are other stalls dotted around for you to explore, or you could grab yourself some pigeon.
Scuff puts a hand on Tyrannix's shoulder and says, "So, food's on you, right?"
Sure.
Thank you.
Don't touch me.
Actually, an interesting thing occurs when you do that. Your hand doesn't seem to fit correctly on my shoulder. Like you're patting, but it's almost like you've got a shoulder blade rather than an actual shoulder.
Jacket.
Can I swipe the top of Tyrannix's head?
As you go to do that, Tyranny
Just
will
gently.
move out of the way. He ducks underneath. But there's like a good. It looks almost too much for what you were just trying to go a little bit over his head, but he ducks a good extra few inches than would have been necessary to avoid your hand.
Arius is like,
Oh, you
"So
guys
I'm
are weird."
I'm not taller than you.
Who wants food?
Now, are we going for the first thing, or are we all exploring these various stalls dotted around? As there is clearly the New
Scuff
Year
is okay with
celebrations
pigeon meat.
kicking off.
Sounds tasty.
You going to grab some pigeon?
Well, before that, John, I did have some of this, I think.
Mhm.
How was it?
It was good.
It was good? It was okay?
Sweet. I mean, if you're after something savoury, it would be worth looking around, but yep.
I guess I'd relate that information. Be like, well, this stuff's good. I've had it before. It's good. It's kind of a bit sweeter than you'd expect, though. So if you're looking for something a little bit
You
more,
remember the name that Nino pointed out to you as you arrived in Artamen. This is called Ipkir.
Yeah, it was. My notes, John, are just an absolute mess. If you combined my notes together, it would look like I was casting a fucking magical spell.
Yeah.
You can skip the name of recipes and food. That's okay. Silver, this is being run by a rather feisty kobold up on a wooden crate so they can peer over the top of the things. He's like, "Irasai, Irasai!"
I take his candle immediately.
He shouts out in Draconic.
I look at the others. I mean, I'm happy to buy a batch of pigeon. I'm happy to feed into the cannibalistic nature of this crowd.
Everyone, what you doing?
You want pigeon?
Loose?
I'd love some, but I'd also love something savoury. So can we have an explore? Maybe I can bring you back some options.
Roll me a d10. Carolyn, how about you?
I've had pigeon before. I found it a bit stringy, so maybe something else.
Okay. As Loose, you kind of go skipping across and look over at the next stall. There's a wicker basket on top being steamed from something, boiling water below, coming up through the latticework of the vines and the bamboo kind of style basket. And the top is lifted off with a waft of steam and delicious smelling scents.
Yeah.
And a little more savoury, still a little bit sweet as well, but there are fig rolls being served with boiled river crabs.
Well, there you go.
Arius there. He smells that.
Indeed,
There you go.
indeed.
John, are these the
Arius
same
and I
fig
would
rolls?
like the fig rolls and the crabs, please.
Silver, there's a whole mix of different folks, but there are a lot of bird folk here. There are Kenku and Arakokra and the humble folk bird races as well, lumens and gallus moving around, more than you've seen in other towns. But then there are also other folks as well. There are dwarves and half-elves and all kinds of things, all folks mixed together. It's a pretty big town, this one. But and of the non-bird folks, there were probably more humans than others. But yeah, thank you for asking. So sorry, Karen, what was your deal? What you doing?
I fancied something different. Other
Okay,
than,
yeah, roll a
pigeon.
d10. Aris is grabbing on that river crab. Scuff, what you doing?
He's peeling off the fig as well. He just wants the crab. He's throwing the fig away.
That is an 8.
An 8, thank you. Oh, yes, okay. You find a stall selling ramir, spicy sausages. Oh, sorry, let me read the whole thing. Spicy sausages made from the innards of camels.
Oh.
Right, yeah, the sheep guts, or if not, the camel gut.
I'm an exciting girl. I'll try anything twice.
Okay. And Scuff, do you good stuff?
Scuff definitely has no problem with pigeon. Sounds like something he'd try.
Yep, little column A, little column B.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, you all stroll through the markets and the busy streets here. The colourful awnings that you saw as you were dashing for cover from the guards, illuminated now from beneath by beautiful wrought metalwork around the glass of the lanterns that are slowly swinging and being moved as people jostle by, peering in to see what's on offer as the various wares of Apesco are being sold. You find yourselves looking beyond the heads of the people filling the street ahead of you, looking up. Now, you are passing beneath that very large temple slap bang in the middle of that Roll20 image there. And as you can see on the picture there, past the temple to the left side of that picture, there's a very, very large area of undergrowth and trees. And this is in Apesco as well. And as you make your way past that massive temple looming up above the markets here of the financial districts, you can see that the massive trees, truly massive trees, so the largest you've ever seen, looming up above the rooftops and buildings of Apesco, are festooned with lanterns? Large,
Pretty cool.
multi-strand like structures weaved around in kind of almost like coconut or kind of teardrop shapes, hanging from the trees, lit from within, festooning these trees. And you just kind of double take because the perspective is all wrong. The distance it is down the streets, the trees must be huge. Those lanterns must be gigantic. And you walk towards them, moving your way through the crowds and with the crowds, and you notice that these are the homes of these birdfolk, festooning the trees.
Wow.
These gigantic trees up above, like this. Boop. Real world.
On the stream or in the in
Roll
Roll20?
20. Roll 20.
Oh, that's so fun.
You see clusters of these bird folks' homes, places of work. They're all hanging down from the trees, and it's the illuminations from inside, which seem to, the lamps of the interior seem to be covered with various coloured coverings so that the light is given different hues. And it looks just like an array of almost like Christmas lights just hanging up in these trees. You can see these branches, gigantic though they are, laden with these homesteads and various constructions, bending down towards the street as some of the birdfolk, Arakokra and the like, flit between them, moving to and fro. And then you hear the creaking of ropes and wood and the turning of vast cogwheels and machinery, and you see little covered containers, almost like baskets, with intricately carved railings around the exterior and cushioned seats on the inside, and people, all sorts of races, sat within, being hoisted up higher and higher. And if I can share one more.
Is it a merry-go-round? Or like a
It seems
like,
to be
what do
more
you
like
call
a,
it?
like a lift, you know, like an elevator, as
Very
these all are being hoisted up towards the same destination. As you see
Wow.
further above these hanging constructions, a larger, vast gathering of accumulated construction, all merged together, wrapped around the trunk and branches at the top of the tree, looking something like this, also from the real world. Boop.
Oh, that's cool.
And from inside,
wow.
you could just see light spilling out onto the leaf, the branches and leaves around. And as you look up, you can see walkways and verandas and balconies outside those holes leading into the interior of this structure. And you can see all sorts of people, not just birdfolk, but people coming and going. And these baskets are being hoisted up higher and higher, little lanterns bobbing on the interior as each pulls it a little higher up towards whatever this vast structure is. And you, my friends, have had your first glimpse of the aviary.
Ooh, that's so fun. This is like, wow. I thought it was going to be like fireworks or like a lantern thing. But it's home.
This is all getting drawn in the notebook.
Ground structure. I've never seen one of these before. My old captain used to talk about this.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
was his
he
name?
Was, my captain?
You bully.
Yeah.
Captain Hemlock.
Oh. No, I think I know that one. I lived on the seas, and sometimes we'd have boats of like soldiers and stuff coming through. So I thought maybe we crossed paths, but I don't know that name.
Oh, not that kind of captain. Like,
Oh.
kinda, I guess.
Military captain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Pretty
He
cool.
talked about seeing these things and experiencing them.
Well,
I've never
Scuff,
seen myself.
if you've heard about the aviary from guards that have been posted here in Abisko, you would also have heard that the aviary is the home of a great many eateries and drinking establishments and inns.
My friends, if we want to drink,
Party.
have a good time,
Yes.
up there might be the place to go.
Up there. That's very high.
Yeah, but you know,
Fine.
it's fine. If you fall from there, you probably won't feel anything before you die.
It's very,
Oh.
very, very high above sea level. It doesn't seem like it's really suited, humanoids.
I link arms
anyway.
with Arius and I just say, "We can go together if you're worried."
I'm not worried. I just don't think it'd be good
That's
for our
fine.
biology to be up there.
Okay, then I'm worried. Would you go with me?
Arius just like straightens himself up. I suppose if you're really that scared, I'll join you.
Okay, cool. I'm so scared, guys. Let's go.
Kaelin's already set off, like, as you were having that conversation.
Sorry.
No.
Turnak's just been watching you on the elevator, just like that. He's just been looking up.
Yeah, everyone, you definitely make your way over through the crowds, avoiding the comings and goings of the merchant district here. And as you make your way to the base of this structure, you are delighted to find that it is free to ride up, so that they can deliver the customers to the higher levels. And each of these little baskets seems to hold 6 people or so you could all jump into one. And you quickly crowd in as a let's think. What should we make it? As a large half ogre.
Oh,
Oh.
half ogre. Name Shrek.
Oh. You're
As a large half ogre kind of just is like, there you go. Yep, all aboard.
Thank you, sir.
Who's Carolyn talking to? Because she was on the elevator before us. Oh, is she currently surrounded by weird other individuals taking notes?
You actually look up from your book for the first time, Carolyn, and see it's complete strangers. Hi.
Yeah.
Hello.
All kobolds.
Just wearing big trench coats.
It's like, don't tell anyone, there's actually 3 of us. Okay. And you are hoisted up, bouncing almost up, little by little, as you get more and more of a view of all of the torch lights and lantern lights lighting up against the white walls, the various colours. You see other streets further off in the city with streamers and lanterns actually strung across the thoroughfares, and you hear all kinds of music and noise and bustling, and there's actually a little bit of a fizz and a whoosh and a little spark of lights as some kind of explosive device goes off for a little ways over.
Arius is sitting in the middle like this, trying to make himself as small as possible.
He's like,
Yeah.
guys, there's fireworks.
No,
Swinging the thing.
please.
Well, if Aris is doing that, he does not notice what Luce sees, as, of course, this is a circular thing where they get hoisted up and then go around something at the top and then make their way back down, like a ski lift. And as one of these other things is coming down, there are people coming down, some of them looking a bit worse for wear, like they've had a bit of a head start and they've been drinking up in the aviary already, and the things are coming down. But Luce, you see that same short, dashing looking fellow with the popped collar and the purple thigh-length jacket, looking resplendent, leaning back with his feet up, and he just kind of like waves at you as his car goes down past yours.
Oh, hey, what's your name? We met earlier. Oh, you're so far away already. Bye. Okay. He ignored me. The Beetle Man was there.
Arius.
I'm sort of sitting next to stuff during this whole thing, and I'm just going to lean across and be like, is he okay?
Sure. He's always been a little bit odd.
Oh,
I
okay.
had bumped his head. Let's take good care of him.
Arius hears you
Say no
talking
more.
shit about Luce, and he just peers out like, what?
I give you a wave. I give Arius a wave, just like a little.
He just hisses and looks back.
Just need the
Demon?
menacing effect from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, it's true.
You were expecting Arius, but it's me, Dio!
And as your little basket clunks against the walkways and the wooden structures above,
How did they get a donkey up here?
that's loud. It's loud. That's from the base of the tree. And you make your way up onto the upper level there, and the gate is pulled open. Welcome, welcome. That's actually a tiny gnome who just sounds like the half ogre.
Oh, hello.
It's like that side of, hello everybody.
You have to talk like this to operate the elevators.
Oh, I see.
And you all skip out. So there's a slightly awkward kind of ski lift moment as you're like, Arius, you almost leaves the edge of the walkway and you're like, jump over.
He looks like he wants to throw up. He's green.
It's like
I think I'll
Please
just
mind the
pat
gap.
him on the back.
yeah, it's like getting off the top of an escalator for the first time.
One foot just slams down, just like a bang.
You got
He immediately
this.
straightens back up. I'm fine.
Okay.
Arius, are you scared of heights?
No,
Okay.
don't talk to me.
Oh.
He walks ahead.
Okay.
All right, so you make your way across this large kind of wood decking with a nice, properly non-Star Wars style handrail along the edge, guarding the long drop down. And you see various people coming and going, looking on some on the way for dinner plans, some clearly off to celebrate and jump into the festivities below again as they are exiting. And you see one of those circular openings in the side of, as you get closer, it does seem to all be like hay and branches and dried leaves just intricately woven together into this large structure. And you're very glad it's not rainy. And
How does it
Yeah, oh
smell?
no.
it smells like fresh hay.
Not like bird shit everywhere.
That explains the donkey.
It's just pining. It's like, I want to eat
Tracks
it so
donkeys
bad.
miles around.
I like the idea of Carolyn saying that and the rest of the group just turning to look at her
Yeah.
and then turning back. Like, that explains the
That
donkey.
explains the donkey. Okay.
She's writing it down as well.
All right. Scuff, my friend.
Yes.
Roll me a d10.
Will do. Four.
4. Thank you. Okay. You see various touts and staff members of the interior establishments shouting out, calling out to you from various sides. And they're brandishing kind of pamphlets, like showing different types of food and drinks and special offers that are on just for New Year. And as you make your way over towards the entrance, you hear the voices from either side. It's like, come to the confronting bishop. It's like, oh, no, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Why don't you join us at the Belonging Spider? It's like, what's, no, you're here for a meal, yes?
No,
yes.
those sound appetizing.
Come all of you to the Dingy Duck. This is the way to go.
That's
And
also
then
not a good name.
another one.
You guys are really bad with names.
And I was like,
Why don't we go over there?
Yes, you should ignore all of them. Come over here to the Horse and Pearl. This is the way to go.
No.
Calls are nice.
Another one's like, Mo Quick Tongues? Mo Quick Tongues. Anyone? No? Okay.
No?
She walks away.
Aw, now I feel bad.
And then a Kenku approaches you. Good evening. Welcome. I trust you're all well.
Yeah, pretty good, thank you.
Yeah.
No, not particularly.
Their
I don't like it up here.
dark, bright eyes go wide. You will find them. They're coming soon. Is that you?
Who's coming soon?
Who is he looking at? Who are they
Yeah.
looking at?
He's looking at the four of you, not at Tyranny.
Oh, thank God!
Rip, man.
Looking at the four of you, but focusing very much on Carolyn.
Oh,
That was really spooky.
the quest, Carolyn.
Hey, just your average magic player. Welcome, welcome. We are playing the CZRPG upcoming campaign, Chessenta's Tyranny. Welcome on in. It's good to have you. This Kenku kind of skips and jumps across the boardwalk towards you, wearing very nice woven fabric in muted shades. Loose, kind of down to the chest, the center of the chest there. And they're like, just what I'm after. Follow me.
I think he wants to eat us. I think we should go.
No. That's not what it is.
I have had worse propositions from people before.
That's really concerning, Kellen.
That's really concerning,
Thank you.
Kaelin.
Oh my god, is he a schoolyard bully?
Oh, I like this one.
You will find them, Woofer. Woofer, you need to find them. They're arriving soon.
Are you Waffer?
That's
Were you looking for us?
Yes.
Oh, are you a weaver?
You call this weaving? Yes.
Guys, this is the person we're supposed to meet. They've been looking for us. Don't get
This-
too close, we've got furs.
At this point, Luce hears in his mind Kellen's voice once again. If you wanted to play pranks, just think of all the things you could teach this young thing to say.
No, don't even. No.
You didn't hear that.
Scott didn't hear anything.
Damn it. It's gonna be horrible.
Thank you, Johnny. Kind words. And this Kenku comes skipping over to you, Kaelin. I must tell you something.
I'm all ears.
You must tell them, Waffer. They must come to me at once. Aglaoniki. And Carolyn, you know that name.
I do know that name.
That is a very high up member of the Arcane Force.
Ooh.
I'm whispering insults. Under my breath, trying to find the best one.
And it's like, right this way. It's like mimicking one of the touts there, and they kind of skip and hop through into the oval archway with the woven woven reeds and things, making in a tunnel with little lanterns hanging along its length. And there's a great deal of people inside here as well, just coming and going, moving past you. Some people kind of lurching a bit unsteadily as they come down, and back out from an early evening's celebrating. And you see that this apparently woofer is skipping along towards a side door heading off this passageway, and there is a sign swinging to and fro at the front of it as people move by, as it's an establishment called the Quarterstaff and Pickle.
Scott's right. Their naming sense in this place is atrocious.
If I had an inn, I'd call it the Tiny Violin, and it would be a place where we make sad people happy again.
I think that's
With
the opposite
alcohol.
of what violins do. They're quite melancholic instruments from what I've heard. And alcohol really doesn't help.
Why don't you just why can't they just name their places stuff like roasted treats or, sweet and savory? It would be so much more useful.
I mean, the quarterstaff probably
Then you
relates
know.
to some kind of magical nature, but who the hell's the pickle?
Yes.
Maybe they serve pickles 5
And you get a
ways.
free quarterstaff, let's go in.
I want that. I go straight up to the counter and I say, I want the pickles, please, 5 ways.
And you go up there, and there is a human bar staff running this place. Evening. Come in.
What are you doing up
And
here?
yeah.
Just a moment.
Does
Hands,
this come with the quarterstaff
hands.
for the kids?
Here's your sausage. Yeah, bangers and mash, right? Yeah, there you go. All right, how you doing?
He doesn't have wings.
No, not maybe one day.
Aris slams his hands on the counter. What are you gonna do if this place collapses in the rain?
I'm sorry.
Are you insane?
No, it just washes everything clean. It's lovely. It's kind of fun when it
We're
happens.
up here for an hour.
If there's a
I'm
sudden-
terrified.
If there's a sudden deluge when everyone's having a good time, everyone goes wild. It's great.
Aris turns to the group. I'm not having a good day, guys.
Have you seen that
Just
stage
stop.
play? Have you seen that stage play, Blade, and they turn on the.
God.
I have not.
Wow.
I've not seen that, but at Arius' outcry, Luce will just kind of like hold his shoulders, and he'll just say, "I know exactly what you need. Bartender, I would like a pint of salt water, please."
You can make that happen.
Please.
Yes.
Our string breathing exercises.
What do they call you? Cal is the name.
Lulu.
Pleasure to meet you, Lulu. Grab yourself a table over there. We have to share at the moment. Sorry, it's festival time. Everyone's out celebrating. That one's only got the one gentleman at it.
Cool, more jovial and atmospheric.
And you turn with your pint of salt water, and
I give it to Arius.
there is.
Aris immediately tips it over his head and he's like,
There is
it's fine.
a large table with a lantern in the middle, illuminating the chairs arrayed around it, somewhat disheveled and moved about the place as people are coming and going, and the staff can't really keep up. But there is, as promised, just one person sat at the table with their knee-length leather boots up on the table, leaning back, their purple thigh-length jacket.
You were going down last time I saw you.
Hey.
Screech and I run away. Because he makes me upset. Suddenly.
Chairs are free, my friends. Won't you take a seat?
While they're doing that, John, while the rest of the group is going there, Tyranny is actually going to be looking around for the absolute drunkest individuals.
I'm not
who
sure if
probably
I'm
have
meant to go there, but yes. Sorry, you're saying, yeah.
just the drunkest
didn't read
individuals with no sense whatsoever who would be willing to enter a mystery raffle with a name signed at the bottom of a piece of paper.
Aris is watching Tyrannex, and as soon as he starts doing that, he's like, demon shit.
I get another pint of salt water for Arius.
Anyone played Final Fantasy 14? Because Tyranny does that little wiggle wave as he walks off. Just a wiggle wave.
And you...
What does the purple jacket guy look like otherwise?
I can show you. He gestures like expansively to the chairs around him. Mes amis, please, won't you join me? I do not take up much room. There's plenty of table for everyone. And
I can't hear that voice without seeing Maxine. It's really jarring.
what are you talking
Is there
about?
an
I just
image
know.
on Authentic?
Oh god.
Is the image on Roll20 or?
It will be in a moment. I'm just letting him introduce himself before I say the name. Before I show the name, I should say.
I'm always
He's
scared
like-
that Roll20's dying.
He's like, you're all delicious, but you have the advantage on me. Allow me to set the ball rolling, as it were. The name is Phoenicus. It is mon plaisir to meet you all. Phoenicus,
Oh.
Reverboire.
I hear you're from the Underdark.
That would be my accent. I did spend a great deal of time down there, a century or two.
That makes sense.
Do you know this person?
It's cool.
Yes, those sideburns look trustworthy.
Yeah.
The bats and the knife and all that make me really
And
trust
the
this
pointed
dude.
teeth.
And the
Oh, yeah.
purple color. And... yeah, no, this guy's not trustworthy.
He
in
is
any way.
popping though.
Yeah.
The bad news is that our random rolls on the tables from Cobalt Press meant that you're having a run-in with a Dampier. The good news is the vote in chat earlier today decided that it was to be a positive encounter and not a negative one.
Cool.
Just you wait, we can turn the tables, I'm sure.
We can make anything negative if we try hard enough.
Yeah, that's the goal.
He's like, my friends, please, I recommend the bangers and mash. It is delectable.
What is that?
It is a kind of sausage impaled into a mound of mashed potatoes.
Oh, that sounds tasty.
The pomme de terre.
Impaled is a very strong word.
Why is it called bangers and mash?
I don't know.
Because they can't call it a sausage because there's not enough meat content.
I believe when they are creating them and cooking them in the frying pan, from time to time they tend to explode.
That
Oh,
also.
that's not risky at all.
No.
It's a lot of you. Sit down. Otherwise, you'll never find Aglaoniki.
Oh, okay, he's helping us do this.
And the Kenku
Is,
kind of skips, is like, who are you? I said my name. I have not heard any of yours. You are most rude.
I'm still supervising Tyrannex.
Yeah.
Just every now and then, it's like a
head over
parchment starts
and
coming, you
sit
just
down.
slap it down. It's like,
Yeah, I'm like, no. No,
Oh,
no.
is Arius literally following me around?
Yeah, he literally is.
Oh.
He's trying to draw a salt circle around you every time you step out. He's like, shit. Almost had him.
Just your average
You're so
magic player. The giveaway today is from CZRPG. Is a massive bundle of encounters and D&D stuff that is for the use in D&D5e, and you can grab it and use it in your games, or give it to a DM that you know to use in their games. As an average magic player, I guess you're adjacent to D&D, with the same evil overlords at the top.
Yep.
This session turned into the weirdest episode of Supernatural I've ever seen over the last like 10 to 15 minutes.
The weird thing is, as Arius is doing this with the salt circles and all the rest of it, like, Tyrannex is looking visibly irritated every time you do it, and yet he seems to be functioning as if he's dealt with this kind of behavior from his party members before. and appears to be managing, kind of.
Arius isn't being subtle about it at all.
Oh no, neither should Akri.
Luce will just sort of like, even though this dude is talking about all of their quest stuff, he's just looking over at this sort of like salt circle hopping extravaganza, and he's just gonna say, "Hi, he's really trying. He's really come out of his shell, you know."
But it's not immediately obvious which of the two you're referencing. He's really trying.
Phoenicus leans back. Look, Kellen, if you wish your friends to be a delectable snack, then let us by all means do the horseplay and banter back and forth for all the evening. But if you would like to save them, the eyes of Hoth will wait for no man, or whatever that thing is. And points at Luce.
Oh.
So Kaelin will go and will sit right next to him. Like uncomfortably
Bonsoir.
close.
Yeah, and he's like a halfling.
Big strong man.
He's just a little
So
halfling.
we'll lean over him. Well, at first I had my curiosity. with words like that, you now have my attention. Your next
Okay.
words may decide whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yes.
So please continue.
Queen.
Our goals are aligned. You wish to be in the same place that I do. I have the key. You have the people power. I've never seen a finer pod. And we, together, I think, will be able to deal with our respective problems. And you could be on your merry way. Or I could go and find some genasi and let them know just which establishment you are. Who's the hands brought a donkey in here?
Must be the one that you saw coming up the railing.
That's it.
After the hay.
It was just sat. It had one basket all to itself. It was just sat there.
Oh, after us all the time.
I tap a contract scroll case, contemplative look on my face, looking at the donkey, and then I just shake my head. No, I go for someone else.
Yeah.
So Finnicus hears Kellen reply, but in his mind, saying, I'm not one to take threats idly. If your goals are aligned with ours, then there is no need for talk like that, so please mind your tongue if you'd like it to remain in your mouth.
Ooh, I don't like threats, but you know, threats me back.
What was the verdict on the reply? They can. Once you make the connection.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so yeah, you hear back in your mind. Look, mate.
Yes!
I'm just over here offering my help. If you require my services, then let's get this done. I've got a score to settle. You've got a friend to save. Let's get her done, eh? Bish bash bosh. Enjoy the party.
Well, that's better. So,
So, what do you say, my friends? Bangers and mash for everyone? And then we can be on our merry fucking way.
I think Luce is going to get up from the table and sort of walk towards the bar, just sort of like nodding after the
You
conversation
see
went
Arius
quiet.
shouting after Tyranny in the background, like, get back here!
Somehow I'm on the rafters at this point. No one knows how it happened.
Arius is trying to jump and grab him.
Luce is like, no, Arius is like a
And I'm doing
now.
that
He's
like every time you get a bit closer, it's like the leg comes up again.
He just hisses at you.
Catch the pigeon.
So, are you agreeing to go with this dashing fellow?
Since everyone else
Bonus action
leaving,
dashing fellow?
I assume we're gonna be the ones assigning them. I see no reason why not.
Okay.
sure.
Luce is going to order a mojito at the bar.
Okay. So yes, you do grab a few more drinks and some bangers and mash. The famous bangers and mash of the quarterstaff and pickle. The funny thing is,
Mojito is
the funny thing
authentic.
is, it's like Russian roulette, takoyaki here in Japan. One of them stuffed with wasabi. One of the sausages is actually just a sausage skin around a pickle,
Oh god.
and everyone has to bite
Luke
into the
has
sausage. And you have
discovered
to
which
pretend.
one.
You have to pretend you're not the one that got the pickle.
I like pickles though.
Oh,
Luce has discovered
everyone-
which one and is making sure he's giving it to Finnick.
Everyone, roll me a deception check, please.
Okay. But I have something. I need to give him the mojito at a second as well. I will roll badly.
22.
I got a 21.
You dishonest bunch.
11.
17.
Yep, give me a moment. Ah, 15.
Okay. The one who got the pickle did a higher enough deception check. Nobody knows who it was, as everyone just consumes their sausages and
If it was
goes on
Arius,
their
I'd probably
merry way.
prefer the pickle.
So
Salty.
I push the mojito towards Finnicus and I just say, This lovely drink is a gift for you as a token of our newfound friendship.
You hear a voice from the rafters. You gotta sell it better, kid. You gotta sell it better.
I realise now that before I was too hasty. And remember, I always liked your boots and I've always said hello to you. I was too hasty to leave. I am a man for your future reference, though.
Trying. A boy at the very
Cheers!
least.
Okay, cheers.
Okay. So, you have your meal and drinks. And then...
Does he drink it?
Come on, John. It's obviously been spiked for something. Did he drink it?
Give me a deception
Just
check.
promise me not to trick anyone.
No, the prankster has done something to the drink.
The prankster
Right,
promise me
come
not to
on.
prank anyone. That
15.
lasted less than a session.
15?
Frank's the
It's
devil.
not
Yeah.
really enough to be a contested roll against John.
Okay, 15. Sorry, someone tell me is insight wisdom?
Yes. Because I'm crap at it.
16.
Oh!
You know what? I do not want to dampen my faculties. I have already had a couple of glasses,
It's
but
virgin.
waste not, want not.
No alcohol in
Hey,
it.
my friend, and he passes towards you, Tyranny.
No, don't drink it, Tyranny. It's not got any alcohol in it. If you wasted on you, I tip it on the floor and I walk away.
Oh.
Very close. Just one.
Ari starts mixing up holy water for Tyranny.
Okay, and the group of you head back out into the throngs and the bustling, crowds out here on this New Year's Eve, as that is the summer solstice here over in this land. And you follow this strange character, almost losing them several times as their diminutive form disappears amongst all the crowds of people. And you find their leading you up a little higher towards that gigantic temple that we have looming over the city in the center of that picture there. And you head inside as all the temples are open, especially on this evening of all evenings. Lots of people coming and going, offering their prayers for the new year, hopes and wishes, praying at the various gods' shrines. This one, you notice, is to Hothra, the combination of that falcon-headed god and that of the sun god as well, worshipping all things of the sky. And you mingle with the crowds until Phenicus turns to you all and he's like, "Are you ready, my friends? The least I could do for that banquet you gave me earlier on. Right this way." And he spins on his heel and goes off down a side passage, quickly opening a door and ushering you all through into a quiet side chapel.
I want to whisper to Arius as I go, the mojito mint leaves were actually stinging nettles.
Really like stinging nettles, don't you?
Now, my friends, this is a very well kept secret. It took me a great deal of research and the greasing of a few palms to discover where this, and he turns and gestures at a wonderful statue of Hoth, their eagle head astride the tall body, two green gems glittering in the eyes. Right here is our gateway down to the Forgotten Cellars, where that bastard is lurking. And your friend. Hopefully we are not too late.
Who is that bastard you speak of?
I don't have any other friends.
Do not
Who
worry.
is that? Yeah, who is that friend you speak of?
It is Kelly's friend. It is who you are here to meet, yes?
Oh, I've just been following this group like a lost puppy because I have literally no other idea of what to do.
Yeah, we just adopted him.
What
He's
is
got
your
nothing to
problem,
do
my
with his
friend?
friends.
Why have you thrown your lot in with these fated ones? Luce, that's a
is this-
term you've heard before in a dream.
Is this
I
another
don't
prophecy?
like that.
Are you a little
I
far
don't
from
like
home?
that phrasing.
A little.
Would you like a way back?
I would love a way back.
Then
Because none of these guys have remembered I was supposed to pay for the drinks because I didn't.
Oh. Oh, oops.
None of us paid.
Barkeep was like,
We snuck
Happy
out after
money.
we snuck out after what is going to be legendarily known as the pickle incident from now on.
and you see he Finicus locks eyes with you, Turnix. You have a whiff of the fate about you as well, my friend. I think you are not one of this crowd. Yours is a different group, much further away. Very well. Let us sort this. Everyone, gather round. Behold, the eyes of Oth. And he rips open his shirt.
Oh my god! I shield my eyes. This is obscene.
Now,
I was
actually,
just like, what?
There is a large medallion around on a gold chain, and it also has a depiction of Hoth with two smaller green emeralds embedded in it, and they, meeting the gaze of the statue in front of him, illuminates, and this emerald glow fills the entire room. Right, everyone. When the way is open, dash through as quickly as you can. It will not stay forever. And don't worry.
Are you also gonna come?
I
away.
certainly am. I have business of my own to attend to. But it is in
Okay.
the same locale as yours. Now, it comes! And there's a glowing green starts to swirl and turn like a vertical whirlpool in the air. And you see beyond it a dark cavern and a glow on the opposite side. Now! Feet! Feet!
I'll hold Aris's hand and we jump through together.
Ar's like, I don't need you to hold my hand.
And you jump through one by one.
I grab hold of Scuff's hand and I say, the last time I jumped through a portal with Llama, it didn't go so well.
At least you're not a centaur.
You were riding me the last time, as I recall.
Oh my gosh, guys! Don't rehash your dating history here.
I'm very confused.
And you all find yourselves here. Centered around a glowing, quickly diminishing, glowing light. There is broken stone, ruined buildings of some kind in this large cavern. A deep, dark chasm rent twain across the middle of the space. And
I like this map a lot.
you can see across the far side of that chasm a figure lying still, prone, across some kind of bench. And another glowing light, a sinister glow to this, over on some kind of dais, some kind of altar? What would you like to do?
Perception check.
place.
A perception check?
Investigation.
I'll do perception.
Perception it would be at this point.
Perception.
Yeah.
John, could I cast Detect Magic?
Absolutely, yes. And let me,
14.
let me get your token under your control as well.
I mean, I haven't forgotten what was said earlier about like no magic kind of thing, but I kind of get the impression we're not in an area that
away
we
from
can worry
prying,
about
as you might
that.
say.
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
you just test your token so I can see that's moving?
Yeah. It is.
Okay,
See you
nice.
suckers later.
Peace. Okay, and you are heading over, peering through the space. How was that perception check?
19.
19. That's a good
14.
roll. And a 14. Okay. Both of you hear some shifting, skittering sound down in the depths of that chasm, echoing up from below. And Arius, with that greater perception there, you notice a shift off amongst the detritus and discarded items and rubble in one of the broken, ruined buildings across the far side. So, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna put loose behind my arm for this one. Push him back slightly.
Sure.
I think Kellen's gonna see Tyranny doing something arcane, and sort of come to the same conclusion, and will cast Mage Armor on herself.
Okay. Sorry, excuse the official Dampier token is not as dashing as Phoenicus.
Mhm.
It's Wizards of the Coast having a bit more flair.
Yeah.
This is the Cobalt Press one. That was the Wizards of the Coast one.
I'm just gonna like hold my spear ahead of me. It's got a sprig of mistletoe on one end.
Okay. And
Did my detect magic? It's only got a radius of 30 feet, so it's not going to stretch too far in this chasm area. But did I detect anything within there?
there was the fading energies of this portal, whatever it is you came through, definitely. But apart from that, no. But as you do that, Phoenicus steps out past you, even where you are, Scuff, there, and he's like, "Where are you? You will pay for what you did to me. The transition you halted. Trapped in this half place. I know you're here. I can smell you. I, Phoenicus, Reverbois, have come for you, Nosferatu."
This is Nosferatu. First.
And he
You won't?
scowls, narrows his eyes in that same direction that Arius, you noticed the movement across the far side of the room, the chamber, and he comes running past you, Scuff, down here to the wall, the cliff face, jagged, where the ravine disappears into the rock, and much as Luce and Arius saw before, he leaps and like a gecko onto the wall, just pulling over like he's just running across flat ground. He scampers up, over and down onto the other side of the chasm. Show yourself, you pathetic creature. I know you're there. I can sense you.
I'm gonna start moving over that way a bit cautiously.
Yeah, I'll follow.
I will hold loose back a bit.
I
Okay, I'll be by your side.
Blood. Blood. And there is an eruption of the rubble and items scattered across one of the things on the opposite side of the room there, and a figure leaps from where they were lying prone, just scattering themselves amongst the space, and leaps out almost inhumanly, just covering way more space than they should, and jumps out into the cavern near Phoenicus. And Nosferatu leaps out from the ruined building and turns towards Phoenicus. Let me finish what I began. And Phoenicus is like, no, it is I. I will finish you. I, Riverbois. And he pulls a long rapier from his belt where it was tucked out of sight behind the jacket, and with a cry of anger and vengeance, dashes across the gap between them. And I would like all of you to roll initiative.
Oh no!
I cannot control my token, John.
Well, that's wrong.
Just FYI.
Oh, that's just wrong.
How's everyone else doing? You're good?
I'm good.
Yep, I'm good.
Oh my gosh, I love this art.
Maybe I hadn't done yours because you were off and away.
That first session, yeah.
Must be.
okay.
It's okay. It's very quick to sort. Boom, try that. I think. Enjoy?
Yeah, that works.
Hooray! Okay, everyone, let me sort that for you. Boom, there you go.
Just so you guys know, when you type in the turn order, if more than one person types at once, it's gonna not
Indeed.
register it. So if you can't do it, that's fine. If for anyone who hasn't used it before.
Okay. Nosferatu, where are you? Stat block, please. Boom. That's the first one, and then this one. Okay.
Hello.
Who dat? Who's lurking?
Hi.
Lurk.
Okay.
I have Kitty.
Hey, how did Buzz get there?
That's not Buzz.
These goddamn teleporting cats!
Oh my gosh, a blink cat! Basil!
Now they are combined. Basmia rises. Basmia.
Is one of them going to tell me how to get home?
Yes, this one, maybe.
Okay, the bad news, Nosferatu got 22.
Mirror image!
Okay, and our good friend, the Dampier, gets a... boom,
Sleepy Basil.
whatever that was.
No.
Ooh, not too great. Alright. Sorry, everyone, you can't see. There it is. It was lurking off the side. Look up in the corner there. Instead, off you pop, Nosferatu, scary looking thing. Okay, Taylor Trash, thank you for the follow. As I go pause there, and let's order this and see who is going first. Oh dear. Nosferatu. Bad news is Nosferatu. Good news, he is very, very focused on this Dampier, and he leaps rushing over towards the Dampier. And let me zoom in here so everyone get the best view possible. Oop. And as he comes rushing towards it, that strangely elongated drawer opens, and he's like, and he vomits forth a stream of blood and guts towards.
Jesus.
towards.
Did he want it in himself? Or is he getting rid of it all?
Yeah.
Okay, and in a 15-foot cone, we need a Constitution saving throw for our friend. Come on, Phoenicus. You got this. Con save, con save, con save. Oh dear, that's only a 12. I don't think that's enough. It is not. Okay. Where's my d8s? D8s. Okay. That is 13 necrotic damage as he gets covered in this horrible substance.
So gross.
And he falls back coughing and spluttering. It's like, you shall not defeat me this time. I will finish this. Arius, what you do?
I'm just seeing if I can see that. Yeah, I can.
As she turns back towards you, actually, Phenicus, he's like, you leave this to me. Help your friend and get out. If you return to the top of the where the portal was, I shall reactivate it. You can go wherever you wish.
I'm gonna hold my turn until one of the creatures attacks a member of our group, and kind of just stand, because he doesn't have loyalty to this person, and he's not sure if he should risk the rest of his party. So I'm gonna say that's what he's gonna do.
Okay, Caroline, you're on point there.
Yes. I'm conflicted. Okay.
Sorry, Dragon as well.
I'm.
Let's go. Loose on deck.
Alright. Kellen's gonna run over to the edge. About here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. We'll make it there. That's just enough. And then. You see Kellen, like, with a look of excitement mixed with dread, starts weaving her hands around like this, and then clasps her arms together like that, and throws a hand out as she will cast Ray of Frost towards
Nice.
this beastie.
What's the deal for that?
So I make an attack roll.
Okay.
Does a 21 hit?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
But of course.
He will suffer 2 points of cold damage.
Okay.
Oh yeah!
Take that.
Level 1.
Nosferatu.
Level 1.
Okay. So yes, the beam of glistening white crystalline edges goes crackling across the space between you and catches the Nosferatu in the shoulder. It just turns its head, like you hear it cracking, and its neck is just like, you wait your turn. And
Oh, bollocks.
anything else?
No. She's gonna look terrified and both proud that she just managed to sneak.
Wow!
Scuff, looking at your calculations there, you can jump that edge, definitely.
Yep.
It would take an extra.
Calculating movement speed and stuff.
Yeah, a little extra bit of movement, but that's all. Luce, how about it? With Scuff on
Hello,
deck.
my name is
So I've
Lucio
heard.
Lucernus.
I've heard
Do
tell.
some spell stuff. So, just looking at the map here, Luce is not going to move very far from his good friend Arius at all, but he is going to move a little bit. 2,
Everyone, let me do a quick
3.
shout out in the chat here whilst Luce is skipping their way across the cavern there for the fabulous Arcane Library, as this is one of their maps.
Okay, I think that's probably okay. So Nosferatu is right ahead of us.
Right.
Luce is going to attempt to cast Entangle on
Oh,
them.
right.
So they need to make me a strength saving throw.
Okay. A saving throw of strength. Coming at you. Only a 7.
Cool, that does not succeed. So
Yes.
a 20-foot square around him becomes a grove of poison oak, stinging nettles, mistletoe berries that are just like forcing their way up his arms and trying to like get into his mouth and that kind of thing. Yeah, he's completely tangled up. So
Is he
a creature in the area must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained.
Restrained.
Um,
Better.
Yep, and it can use its action to free itself, or it remains restrained.
The Dampier is also in that zone.
Oh shit! Can I? Wait, it's actually. Oh
You
god.
could center it
Hang on.
differently if you want.
I can center it so that it's.
How's it worded? Is it based? Is it on a person?
Yeah, I can
Or...
a 20
Thank
foot
you,
square
Ardana.
starting from a point within range, and the range is 90 feet.
There you
So
go.
I can
Yeah.
start it on the corner. So I just
Okay.
don't want him to get in there.
And for your efforts, Ardana has given you inspiration crystal.
Oh wow! Thank
and
you.
Carolyn, coming at you too. Thank you, Ardana.
Yay! I'm used to getting disadvantage. That's great.
The turntables when Lucia's not here.
Yes, everyone, you can spend your dream pies to assist your favourite adventurers. Give them an advantage crystal to use as they wish, or disadvantage.
If you feel more comfortable that way, Patch, I could give you a disadvantage one.
No, I'm quite
No,
fine.
no, thank you.
No,
I'm good.
no in-session, thank you. No, in-session ones, thank you. Okay, Scuff, speaking of yourself, go.
Scuff is gonna move down.
Turn next, next.
Actually, you know, I'm gonna be lost to myself and do it because I can.
Go for it.
I'm leaping down here, leaping over this smallest part of the gap,
Do
and
it.
using his double move, he will move in towards the towards creature as it says, "I will not let you fight on this and fight this on your own.
Felicus
I'll
is
stand by your
What
side."
are you doing, you crazy fool? Assist your friends!
And I can't attack because I moved more than 30 feet, so he's just gonna use his movement to get in there.
Okay. And that's you're done?
That is it.
Turnix.
I look at Carolyn at throwing this thing. I look at Luce, well, Lulu as I know him, throwing out all this stuff. I see all the shit that's going down. I look between everyone and I say, "What the fuck do you want me to do?"
Wait, are you not magical?
Yeah, what do you want that thing dead? Are we trying to rescue someone? What are we doing?
Arius, you have
Better know.
inspiration too.
Wait, me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ardana.
Oh. Thank
So
you.
I'm literally asking for direction, and if everyone's a bit too busy, I'm actually just gonna skip my turn because Turnax literally doesn't know what he's doing here. So it's
Okay.
totally
Arius
up
is like,
to you
"I
guys.
feel you."
What do you want me to do? Does anyone shout back?
Arius, no, Arius, I'm not Arius. Luce will just.
I was like, I feel you.
And last but not least, Scuzz. Ardana, how many dream pies do you have? There's a lot of dream pies. Full set. Okay,
If Luce isn't able to shout back, then,
you can if you want to.
yeah, he'll just say both.
I split myself in two? No, I don't. I look between the two situations and I say, which one takes priority?
Oh my god, just pick one.
Okay, then I'm going to. When you say that, I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna basically just assume
Thank you.
that
Ardana.
these people are wanting
that-
to do the good things.
Ardana, was that for Tyrannex?
Yes.
Oh, do I get something?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about my screaming.
That too.
I was.
I'm going to use a bonus action to cast Far Step, which allows me to teleport 60 feet to an unoccupied space I can see, which I will make this space here. I believe I've got that right.
Everyone has the ability to re-roll if they wish after you've seen the roll, but before I've said if it's a success or not.
I'm then going to use the rest of my movement to run to this person who I assume is the one that they want to save.
Okie doke.
Kellen just sees this feat of arcane happen, and her jaw drops to the floor in like.
Okay. Yes, Tyrannix, as you rush over there, you do see that this woman is on this table, restrained and unconscious, it seems. And let me give you a better look, as we have a proper picture of Aglioniki, a astronomer and sorceress from real-world ancient Greece. Thank you, thank you once again to Aganike for telling me about her. And we promised to get her into the game here as an NPC at some point, and I thought today was a good opportunity. So there they are.
She looks slightly like a dryad, actually. I wonder.
A little bit, yeah. Okay, so what do you do when you arrive there? Has there anything left?
Oh, I've got nothing left. Oh no, wait, no, I do, don't I? Because bonus action to cast Far Step. Okay. I try to. Okay, I'm going to use my telepathic crystal to contact the only one who can contact me back, which is Kaelin, and be like, I'll describe the person in front of me, and then be like, "Is this the person you're trying to save?
Is this your card?
Is this your card? Or do I have to teleport through all these fucking ruins?"
That's the one, darling. That's the one.
Okay, cool. I will use the rest of my action to try to basically remove whatever is restricting them, because I'm not sure if the other spell that I wish to use is actually going to allow me to get them out.
Okay.
So.
Noted. Yeah, you do actually manage to release them, but they're still unconscious.
That's that to me would be my turn.
All right. Okay. Behold the hair. I like that, Ranger. Behold the hair. That's slight sore point for Tyranny. Might wanna.
Oh, no, don't get me started, Ranger. I will start to cry on stream.
F's in chat for Master. Okay. The Dampier, Phoenicus, which is Phoenix in Greek, by the way, everyone. He's like, Kiara, my old friends. Now you die. And goes.
This is a self-inserted character, is it?
A little bit. Also, we randomly generated. I think. Oh no, it was another poll that we did in chat earlier that they feed off dreams. So that's why they enjoyed eating all of your fondest desires, which were being dreamed up in the alleyway there, and the the surname there is dream drinker in French.
Oh jeez.
So anyway, sorry. That said, he lashes out with his rapier. I believe. Hang on, let me just double check here.
Sorry in advance, John, for what I'm about to eat.
Okay.
If that's a jammy
We love a
dodger,
jammy
apologize to the rest of us who are incapable of getting jammy dodgers.
That's why she did it.
I've got a custard cream.
You are.
Damn
We're
you
not
all.
brothers anymore.
Damn you all.
We're back to being arch enemies.
Okay, he's going to try
So
and
much character
grapple.
regression.
Oh yes, a 19
Oh, are you good?
on the beastie here. The Nosferatu is going to try and escape that. The strength is better. Oh, but it's only a 16. So Phoenicus grabs this creature, and he's like, "Give back what you took from me!" And just bites into the Nosferatu's neck
Oh damn.
and does his Dark Thirst attack.
I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer about this, but does that mean he stepped into the range of the entangle?
He was
No!
no, he's still on the
Okay.
edge. But thank you. That I'm going to use my advantage there. So that gives him a 21. And he bites through and does 1 piercing and also 4 necrotic damage. So that's 5 damage total. But he also regains 5 hit points as he drinks of Nosferatu. Sorry, 4. He gets the necrotic.
Problem with these damn peers is they're all so damn thirsty.
Right. Speaking of, it is the end of the
The leather
turn.
boots finally make sense.
Carolyn, Luce,
Yes.
Hi.
Tyranny.
Oh god.
No.
That
Yeah.
strange sound, that strange rattling, scuttling sound from the chasm gets louder and rising up out of the dark depths something comes, tentacles reaching up over the lip of the stone as this clumbers up and over the edge next to you, and one more in your direction, Tyranny.
Oh, lovely.
Oh boy.
And I put them here in the order. Is that in the right spot? Oh, not quite, but I'll do it in a second. So yes, they come clambering up and over the edge there, and the first one is going to go for Loose.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Someone called the cops. We'll be safe.
Tentacles come reaching up over the edge of the chasm, lashing towards you, Loose. Does a 12 hit?
No, it does not. My armor class is so high.
Okay,
I've
another
never
one.
had a character with armor class this good before.
A 13, getting slowly higher. And the third tentacle?
Nope.
23.
Oh no!
Well, yeah, that one will do it.
There it is. Okay. The tentacle lashes out and pierces into your skin, causing... Come here, D4. 2 piercing damage. And 2 piercing damage, but the tentacle latches onto you, and this creature pulls itself up and over, almost pulling you back into the chasm with it as it goes up and over the edge, pulling it into your space and attaching itself to you.
Great.
Okay. Now make an animal handling check, see if you can ride it, because you look amazing. Looks amazing at the moment. Okay. And the other one is going to come over the edge and into the ruins of this building next to you, Tyranny, and is going for you with those same tentacles. 14.
Oh yeah, that's a hit. Without
great.
Tide's mage armor, I am very hittable.
A 13.
Oh yeah, that hits too.
2. Hey, great. And so the third one hits too. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't have to be so gentle with you. So...
And this is how the story of Tyrannax came to a conclusion.
So, hey, Swag, come and just guest on the channel for a sec.
Yeah.
I'll kill your character.
Don't worry, it'll be quick.
You take
Well,
6. You take 12 piercing damage.
Oh, I'd be dead.
And it pulls itself into your space and attaches to you. Alright, I'm going to put that over there. And that brings us back to the start of the round and our good friend Nosferatu.
No, Basil. Oh,
Oh, was Basil joining Nosferatu? Yes, Basil.
Basil was rolling a dice.
Nosferatu.
Put me in, Mum. Put me in. I can take him. I can take him. Okay.
Holy shit, Basil just rolled a natural 20. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, boys. I'll fight them with my paws.
Okay, he
My
lunges
first
out towards our good friend Phoenicus here. Actually, yes, he is going to concentrate on Phoenicus because that is the rivalry that exists there. With his claws, the first one.
As it does, Scuff is gonna kind of shove his shield in between, giving him disadvantage on his attacks.
Nice. All 3? All attacks?
Yes, it's I believe it will be.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna read it.
Let's have a quick one there. Yep. Get another d20.
On one of them.
Just the first one? Okay. Alright, so yeah, you manage to knock him out of the way as he lashes his claws out towards Phoenicus. The second one will hit Phoenicus, I'm afraid, which is D8 plus 5, 8 slashing damage. Phoenicus is like, ah! As it slashes across his torso there. He's like, why did I rip my shirt open? And that was my only armor. And the 2 claws followed by a bite. Yes, okay. So the bite attack is also a hit. D8. That is 9 piercing damage and 6 necrotic damage, and he regains. You see him gaining sustenance as he bites in. It's a bite off. We got a bite
It's
off,
bite off.
everyone. It's like, ow, 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 ow.
It's disgusting and arousing in equal measure.
You do you, mate. You do you. Okay, so
Just boys
Don't
biting
kink
boys.
shame.
Just boys
We
biting
all know
boys.
Jonathan.
that's
That's
sorry,
boys
my-
biting boys.
my intonation was wrong there. You do you, mate. You do you.
Yes, exactly.
And that goes down like that. Okay. Phoenicus is looking worse for wear. Okay. There we go. Hey, wizard. wizard Ingy. Emote storm. Okay, Arius. People have attacked your friends. Oh, you
Yes.
should have been able to trigger your held action. Sorry, when the creature
Sorry.
attacked loose. It's
Okay.
Shout at me. Shout at me.
Yeah, okay. Seeing how bad the situation is going, I am going to bonus action cast Sanctuary on Loose.
Okay.
Guessing, Emma, you know what that does?
Yeah.
Cool. Then I'm going to use my movement to get up to... Hold on. Here. And I believe I still have an action, so I am going to swing my Warhammer at
Nice.
the creature.
Go for it.
Okay. So it's +3 to hit. That was a 21.
Excellent, Stephanie.
Okay. So then it will be 1d10. 8 plus 1. 9 points of, I believe, bludgeoning damage.
Absolutely.
9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Crunch, a massive
Sexy.
hit. Yeah, and you see its carapace kind of breaks and dints in, and it kind of lets out this strange. And anything else?
I'm just gonna yell, let's get out of here.
Well, now it's your turn. That was the held action.
Oh, cool. Can I hit it again?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna switch dice.
Crunch.
I don't think this is gonna hit a 12.
It's like sling it over your shoulder and take it back to that boiled crab salesman. It's like you've set this in your pants. A 12 just hits.
Oh wow.
Cool. Not as good damage, 5.
No problem. Crunch again. Okay, nice. And that brings us to Carolyn Sturgrove.
Okay, Kellen
Lose your
looks
deck.
on in terror at what she's just seen, and will sort of lift both hands up and shout, "Put down that small soft boy!" And will ray of frost again.
It's going to be with disadvantage at point blank range, I'm afraid.
Is it?
But you could use your inspiration to cancel that out.
You could.
Oh shit.
I didn't realise there was a range thing,
Range spell attack, right?
even for a cantrip.
Does it say range spell attack?
Yes, it does. Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, I will use my advantage to make that a straight roll.
Go for it. Thank you, Adana.
Favor me,
That
please.
is an 18.
Hits.
Oh,
wow.
nice.
Oh boy. For a total of 8 damage.
Whoa.
Cold damage.
Actually,
Max
that's
damage.
pretty good.
Nicely done. Anything else?
Very nice.
She's very proud. She finally did a good one that time.
As she should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That's amazing.
Loose. This thing is suckered onto you.
I would like to escape. How can I do this?
Good question. Let me check. A strength check. Tear it off.
Strength.
Sorry.
Can I please potentially use? Wait, I have a question first.
Scuff your own necks.
Checking with the inspiration.
Mhm.
If I roll once and I decide that I feel like it's inadequate, I can roll it again before I know the outcome, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's try.
Yeah, you don't have to state beforehand that you're using it. Unless you're cancelling a disadvantage.
Now that feels inadequate, so I'm gonna just do it one more time.
Okay.
That was much worse.
Oh no.
Oh
11.
crap.
11.
There is a phrase in D&D
Wait,
that
sorry.
goes...
Oh my god!
Yes?
Oh no, I was going to look something up, but it's okay. Yes.
You were so excited. We were expecting wonders.
What?
I know what the phrase means.
Beats it.
Yeah.
You tear the tentacle off yourself, and you're free to do what you want any old time.
Run, Luce, run.
I would like to run away.
One, Lucius.
But that's my whole turn, isn't it?
No, that was just. Well, I think it was an action. Hang on.
Covered in crab
Okay.
guts.
Yes, you have to use your action to touch it. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to move. Am I engaged with this creature, or can I move away from it? And I don't mean
yes.
in marriage.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
The creature
Arius
blushes.
is like starting to
Congratulations.
grin.
I'm very happy for you.
Oh, actually, I'm going to then use Phase Step to magically teleport
Nice.
away.
Go for it.
So 30 feet away. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Disappear in a flurry of poison oak leaves.
Sorry, guys.
See you.
I'm back
Okay.
here.
Scuff, go.
So the creature Nosferatu is still entangled, right?
Yep. So advantage.
Because it never broke. Yeah, it never broke through it.
Mhm.
I will, in that case, as my friend here is struggling. Oh, friend, my co-worker, my collaborator,
Yep.
is struggling. Scuff's gonna attempt to strike this thing down to hopefully take some attention away from his suffering collaborator. He's gonna grab his longsword, wield it in two hands, giving it extra power around it, as he's gonna bring his sword far above his head and strike down towards it.
Nice.
That's with a +3. And we roll that twice. That's 12.
Not enough, I'm afraid. It moves out of the way, just moves its body unnaturally, like twisting more than a normal body could, and out of the way of the sword.
This creature, it's so powerful.
Yeah.
And
Let me show
anything
you
else
my moves.
on your turn? Scuff, anything else? What's your next?
Scuff's gonna look towards the other one and say, "What's your plans, everyone? What do we do?"
Survive!
Leave.
Leave. Scuff's gonna. He doesn't want to leave this guy either. Just gonna stay here for one more round.
Okay. Tyranny.
Okay. Well, Tyranny goes as this thing stabs him 3 times in the back.
Oh.
He's
No.
gonna reach out to this unconscious form here,
Mhm.
grab him, and go like, "You're unconscious, so it doesn't matter if you're willing or not," and immediately cast Thunder Step.
Consent is always very important.
Hey, you know what? Oh, that normally applies, except when there's a massive tentacle beast behind you, because I mean, there's nothing I can do.
Especially when there's
a tentacle. You're absolutely right, Llama. So I'm casting Thunder Step, which
Okay.
means I and one figure who is willing, but unless you want to overrule this again, John, we talked about this last time.
Yeah, that's
If
okay.
they're unconscious, they can't resist, is what we decided last time.
Mhm.
So I'm Thunder Stepping 90 feet away.
Nice.
So I'm going to go straight to the portal with this unconscious person.
Nice.
The creature, whatever the hell this
Like
is going to need to make a Constitution saving throw,
Noted.
which is going to be. It says 16, but actually I think it's 17 because of my weapon.
I got a 4. It doesn't matter.
Oh well, all right then. Then it's taking 5d10 thunder damage.
Go for it.
Ooh.
So that is going to be click. Oh come on, you bastards! I had a couple of 10s and other dice bounced off them and turned them to 2s. 25. Not my best hit, but it'll do.
Tyranny, it's very nice to have you here with us today. Tell me what happens.
Yay!
So I reach out and I grab the unconscious figure, and I shout my consent line. And then I literally kick off. I bring one foot down hard on the outer shell where the things drag me in, and then I just disappear. But the shockwaves from the thunder ripple and sort of crack the armor, and it's almost like this kind of slow motion watching a glass come apart when you drop it on the floor.
Yeah.
And then it just gets slammed into the ground and just stops moving.
Yeah, just slams up against that wall and just cracked and broken and steaming and dead. Okay, thank you. Anything else on your turn?
Okay, I have a move. I guess I just push the unconscious body head first into the portal to see if anything happens. I'm just like slamming her head into the portal at this point.
Okay. Phoenicus turns to you, Scuff. He's like, please, your friends, they have what they came for. Get out of here. This is my fight.
You're gonna die if you stay here.
I cannot die at all.
Sure you can. Everyone can die.
It's like there's his fangs at you, trying to scare you away. Go!
Skiff has no idea how this works, so he's still gonna think that this guy's gonna die. But you know,
Can I make a persuasion check?
oh yeah, no, like Skiff's gonna bail, but he's gonna still think this guy's gonna die.
Okay.
Because he doesn't know vampires and how they work.
That's
That's
it.
just done something.
So attacks. 16
Now I
and
need to go
19
Scott, please.
and a 23.
Oof.
Nice.
No.
Okay, so that is going to be 9 piercing, 8 piercing, 17. You okay, guys?
I'm trying to eat a lady birdie corner from midair. He's such a monster. I love you.
Baz, tell me what happens.
I bring 2 sharp fangs down and puncture the outer skin.
That was his natural 20 from before. Okay, so the Phoenicus's blade just dances out once, twice, 3 times, just stabbing into the body of this Nosferatu. It just howls and hisses after them. And he's like, get out of here! I shall activate the portal and keep this one where it needs to be, dead and buried. And that brings us back round to the Nasty Beasties, aka Carrion Stalkers.
He called us in the air.
And it's gonna go for Kaelin.
Oh no.
Okay, 3 tentacles. This one, dirty 20.
Shield,
Does it make enough?
which brings my AC for
Two.
this round to 21.
Ah, goddammit. Okay,
Oh,
next tentacle. Oh, that was so
nice
nearly
play.
19. No, misses. And the last one, another dirty 20. It's like.
Yeah, so each of these 3 attacks, you see like a ring of golden energy from her left arm, while she's going, ah, ah, ah!
Tyranny is looking across, he's like, whoa!
The creature's just desperately trying to get at you there, but to no avail. Meanwhile, Nosferatu is going to attack Phoenicus again. Misses. Hits. And misses. So just one of the claws hits home for 6 slashing damage. A measly 6 slashing damage. Phoenicus lives, but looks very, very worse for wear. You might say bloodied in certain circles.
No.
Okay. That was over here. Sorry, folks. I forgot to show you what was going on. Arius, you're up. Arius.
You return.
Shoop. Hello. Okay.
Sprint.
So you see, Tyrannax has saved whoever this was that was on the far side and has teleported to this portal. Luce is away. Carolyn is magically shielding themselves.
Okay. I'll have another swing at the creature in front of me then, if it's still up.
Okay. So you're gonna smack it and then run to the portal.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, I have whatchamacallit, inspiration. Emma, did
Inspiration?
you answer my question?
Which one?
I've forgotten what
So many
inspiration
questions.
does. I played D&D for 3.5 years.
You get advantage.
Oh, okay, cool. Because that was
Lily's
two.
like, Emma,
I
did you answer my
was like,
question? She's like, which one? And it's like, Lily slowly goes down in the camera. She
All
goes
of
onto one
them.
knee.
not like this. That would be
Not the place.
17.
That hits.
Okay. And
Did you use the
then
inspiration?
I did use the inspiration, yes.
Okay, thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
Dankeschön. I think.
Great.
Is that right?
I have to double check. Can you tell I haven't played a card before?
Smack! How'd you get? What's the damage on that?
I just have to double check it. So Warhammer is +1, so that's a 6.
Nice. And do you have a second attack? No, that was two. You had
I
two
don't
actions
think so,
going
no.
before, wasn't it? Yeah, not level 1. Okay, this is also bloodied. As in, it has 10 or less HP. You are bringing the holy hurt down upon it.
I want this crab. It's my crab.
Curtis Devgrove, loose on
My
deck.
crap, guys.
Well,
It looks very much aware. There's lots of big holes
well,
in it.
shit. It's worked so far. I'm gonna try again.
But then
Right, Frost.
the golden, the golden light shimmers and fades. God damn it! You weren't quite sure how long it was going to last.
So, at disadvantage. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. Okay, first roll was a natural 20, the second was an 18, so that's
They're
still
both
gonna
hits.
be
Yep.
a 23.
Nice.
Shit,
Okay, what's
okay.
damage? Frost blasts into one of the open cracks in its shell.
7?
Exactly how many HP you had left. Tell me what
shit.
happens.
You did it!
Nice.
Okay, still panicking. You see, like, for a split second, she sort of stops and just closes her eyes and takes a deep breath and says to herself, "Remember," and then just like,
Sorry,
like-
Arias, were you leaving? Did you run away?
Yes, I will move my 2.
You'd move away. They would get one attack of opportunity, but you do think that is generally. I mean, you think everyone's moving over there to get out of here if it only gets to Fenneca's turn.
I think he wouldn't leave Kaelin if she's still there. I think he'll stick with her, actually. So when she moves, he'll move.
You. Yeah, because you can hold an action, but you can't just hold your movement, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
I feel like you're robbing poor Patch of a really cool execution right
Sure,
now.
it's
by the
fine.
way.
If I have to move, then I have to move. I don't
yeah,
mind.
it seems. Yeah, it seems. If you delay, then it seems like Fenneca's is going to be stuck against that
Sure,
Nosferatu
then
another round.
I'll just go here then.
Okay, so you dash up onto the ledge. I think Tyranny is gesturing wildly for. He's like, "Up here, by the portal, by the portal."
I'm hitting this woman's head.
Not helping. Okay. Loose.
I'm doing shit.
do
There's a
I
loose.
continue?
Loose. The boot, the loose. Are you running as well?
That's
yes.
me.
I got halfway through my tell me
Yeah.
what happens. You
Oh,
cut
I'm
me
sorry.
off.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's fine. I didn't want to do it anyway.
Patch was building up this. I was getting really invested in that, and then you were
First-
like, "Do you want to move?" Oh, okay.
Sorry.
First time I ever got one of these things on this channel, and this is what you do to me.
Sorry.
Just you wait for tomorrow. Just you wait. So, Kaelin steadies herself, takes a deep breath, shuts her eyes, tells herself to remember, and as she does, she opens her eyes and looks at this creature with like a proper dagger stare, and just lifts one hand up with a couple of fingers pointing out, and this single beam of frost energy comes out from between the fingers and wraps itself like a web around this creature and freezes it. And yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
And then
so
she
yeah.
will use her
Magic
movement to get the fuck out of there.
So yes, just
And
this spider web of ice just goes across its whole form and just chills it to the core, and it slumps down. Okay.
As she gets over to the portal to Tyrannax, she's gonna, like, out of breath, like hands on knees, look over and say, "You've got to teach me how you did that."
All right. Nice.
And I look back and I'm like, "It's a single name sign away."
Okay.
No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Luce, you're up. Let's go from
Luke
back.
is my name. I run away.
Okay, you run up to the
There's
portal as
nothing
well.
enough to fight. We have the thingamajig. Running. I'll grab Arius as we go, and for flavour, I'll run with him.
It's fine. You can drag
Yeah,
on
I'm
your
going
turn,
to the portal.
yeah,
He's got a hammer in the other hand.
half your movement would still
Covered in crab.
get you there. Yes. Okay. Delicious, delicious crab. Okay, now.
Yummy.
Scuff. Your friends are poised, ready to flee.
Yeah, so Scuff's gonna look towards Fennicus and say, "Whatever you're dealing with here, I'll leave you to it." And he's gonna bail real
Okay.
fast this way.
Go, go, go. And we'll get an attack of opportunity. Let's see. Okay, it just lashes out with a claw. Natural 20.
Oh. Oh, stuff.
I have no healing slots left.
It's okay. I might survive, maybe.
Might.
Scuff's
Level
getting
one,
real
so-
scuffed.
Let's just hope it doesn't get more than what your ace. You got 18 HP? 36. 16. Okay. 32.
Okay. Scuff. This claw rakes across your back, cutting through the top where the breastplate doesn't reach up, and into the back of your neck as you feel these horrible, horrible, nasty pointed nails just digging into your very flesh. And you take 2d8 as opposed to 1, plus 5 slashing damage
Okay.
for a total of 17.
Oh, no.
You said 16?
16 HP.
So you get to just past where Fennicus is here. And the rest of you looking across the chasm see Scuff stumble and fall prone and unconscious.
Oh, no. Shit. How do we fix
No,
this?
it's okay. It's okay. It's
Elf can
okay.
heal.
We can fix this.
Turn,
We
it's
can
your
fix
turn.
this. Yeah, okay.
The cleric's out of commission.
I see Scuff go down, and I'm just like, you take her, and I just push.
Fennicus just yells, "Somebody help him!"
Yeah, I just push the unconscious body towards whoever. I don't care who grabs that body. And then, still with my far step available, I'm going to far step down to him, grab him with my movement, like half my movement action. I'm going to drag him a little bit away to like here, if you could move him there. And then I'm going to use my other, another one of my spell slots to use Thunder Step again, taking Scuff to the portal with me.
That's it. Okay, so what does your first step look like?
That's a really... Why you gotta put me on the spot like
Sorry.
this, John? I've never thought about it. Knowing what I know about Tyrannex, I suppose it would be almost like a heat haze. It's like a kind of a reddish shimmer in the air.
Okay, so yes, Luce and Arius, you just see the air starts to shift. Carolyn, you two right there, and you just hear off in the far distance a tortured soul screaming somewhere far, far away.
Wow,
As
that's a bit much, isn't it?
Tyrannex steps through and disappears, and then there is a of thunder echoing through the cavern, and he comes immediately back.
Okay, cool.
Like
Okay, cool.
like a happy dog. You know, it's like, I got him.
Demon.
And then Lucy, you'd throw an Iris up here as well, I assume. And just like, gear it up!
Yeet.
And now you see the Dampier, Fennicus, as it is his turn, turns, and he's like, Au revoir, enemy! I will get my revenge. And maybe, somewhere, our paths will cross again. Think strong of where you wish to be it back in the city or elsewhere. Au revoir! Rips his shirt again, and there's that green
Half
glow from the amulet and the
Power word strip.
the portal.
No!
The portal amongst you all flares, and where? Oh, I don't have my power word. Where's my power word thing? I didn't put it in one of the slots.
Sorry, Patch, that got me.
Oh, I got one of my notebooks from Japan back today, and I found all of my like notes from the last few sessions of Avernus, and written in just the corner was power word thick.
How was it
That's right.
spelled? THICC?
Oh yeah.
3cc.
Three Cs.
3 C's.
3 C's, 3 C's. Oh my bad.
All right. Okay. And yes, the glow encompasses you all. Luce. Where do you think of?
Where do I think of to take us back to?
It said it will take you where you want to go. Where do you think of in the moments that this green light washes over you?
Oh.
And all being your Caroline wanted to take this person back to the city. It seemed.
Does it have to be on the material plane?
Oh god.
Oh shit!
And, you know what we said about
That's the wrong
splitting the
person.
party? That definitely applied across planar boundaries. Yes, it would have been the same plane of existence. Yes.
Okay, he will think of the city. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
think of the city.
Caroline, where? Where?
At the city.
Arius?
Specifically behind the bar at that tavern they were in.
Arius
Stuff and
will
pickle.
think wherever loose goes.
Fair. Scuff?
Scuff will be unconscious. I don't think he would be.
Fair player. Fair comment. Yep.
Where does he dream of, Llama? Where does he dream? Does he dream of home?
Probably the pearly gates.
At which place, Fennicus is like, I'm sorry, my friends. Draws it off into himself. Ah, did you see?
Oh god.
And Ternex.
Home. I remember. I think of my. I mean, it's been a blast, you guys. But I mean, I'm thinking I need a hug from a certain snake with 10 feet long arms.
No!
I need
you
a
can't leave us.
head pat from a druid who's too nice for her own good. I need to see my friends again. So my thoughts go to home.
I said it had to be on the same plane.
Then when
Luckily-
that fails,
No, luckily, the material plane here and the material plane way across the Phlogiston in Eberron is the same plane.
There you go.
as we're leaving though, as I am starting to disappear, I just turn very briefly to look at Arius, and for a split second I drop my disguise, and I just say, devil, actually, and then I'm gone.
I was so close! Iris has no idea the difference because he's like from underwater, so he's like, fiery horns, yes, same thing.
Same, right?
You'd just be like, I knew it!
By-
It was a
by-
demon.
That's what I've been
Bye.
saying
By the by, Lily,
this whole
like,
time!
Tyrannax is like a tortured fucking mess. It's like it's not the
Oh, I
normal
know the Lincoln
red
story.
skin and devil horns. It's like cracked, melted, all the
Cool.
nasty shit that could have happened. So it's a bit of a
Very nice.
nightmarish face. I don't know
I
how
like
squeamish Arius is around like gore, but yeah, it's like
Iris is just like, I like
splatter.
it.
Oh, Tarek's a little taken aback, then just gone.
And as
You look back and Luce looks at you like, "Hey, a spooky face." Is that rude?
and
Not the worst I've
as
heard.
Iris is like,
the green light rises up around all of you, and you hear the clash of a rapier flashing out once more against Nosferatu. Music beckoning you through the plane gate here, and up above to the city where you had first met Fennicus. And you find yourselves, as no one else was more specific, behind the bar of the Quarterstaff and Pickle. And the owner shouts out, he's like, "Oi! You can't be back here! And you didn't pay!" And we shall stop
Run.
there.
As I leave, I tell
Out of the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah.
And
As I leave, I turn
Yep.
all of the mint leaves into stinging nettle.
Okay. And Tyranny, as you emerge from that green glow, back there is a blast of hot air as the overly temperate crimes of Ardhamen greet you once more. And I shall describe what your friends are doing after you vanished from view. After we figure out
Celebrating,
and
I know, you
realize
don't
what
need
they're
to
doing.
get too into it.
There was like high fives, like there's like a frozen high five playing out the theme song. Okay, thank you all. Massive thank you to Swag for joining us for today. Thank you so much.
Sorry,
It's been an
John,
absolute pleasure.
may I actually just say something and potentially see what you think?
Please.
Okay.
Intrigued.
Carolyn showed a little bit of interest in how I gained my magic. So when they all come to behind the bar, or behind that bar area, Carolyn
I know what
has
you're gonna do.
a scroll in their hand, and they can do what they like with it.
Noted.
R6.
Okay. A huge thank you to all of my lovely players, and especially Swag for joining us today. I cannot wait for another 2 weeks from now when we'll be back here to figure out what happens and we return to Episco. Somewhere out there is an intimidating market waiting for you. And we shall see just what happens. A massive thank you to everyone who helped me get ready for today. This cannot be found in CZRPG's module. This is all off the top of our heads. And thank you for chat earlier for helping out with that. I hope I did it justice. Now, a huge thank you to everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs. Best of luck to you all in the giveaway, which we'll be drawing very, very soon. And we just a quick rundown of what's going on over here. As mentioned, tomorrow you can find us over on QuestJunkiesUK. He's putting that in the chat. Boom. Do head on over there and give them a follow so you can see myself, Marin, and Michael as our characters in Rodania, continuing our adventures with Patch as DM. I am a wild magic barbarian bearfolk. That one, right there. Thank you. And you can see us and enjoy our adventures with us tomorrow. Then Tuesday, Frostmaiden is taking a week off, unfortunately, but Wednesday evening or Thursday, wherever you are in the world, we will be back in the Underdark for Out of the Abyss, and then later on, back through the mists in Barovia for Barovia and beyond, before bringing us round past Friday, skipping on over an offline little shenanigans, a little bit of preparation for a Deadlands mini campaign coming up soon. But then we shall be back on Saturday when we will be here with our fantastic Candlekeep Mysteries crew, also beneath a city, but a little extra dimensionally, as they are stuck in the mirror of a demon and are battling their way out of one of Arcane Library's fantastic adventures. But do join us for that, and every chance that you can. It's been wonderful to have so many of you here with us today. Thank you so much. Lots of lovely names. Aganiki, I will give you another shout out there. Thank you for the inspiration for our sorceress astronomer friend, Aglaoniki. Not Agonike. I think the one was the inspiration for the other. One of the inspirations for Agoniki's name. And we look forward to bringing them back to consciousness, for they are safe and can converse with Carolyn.
And Scuff too.
And Scuff too.
Yeah, you haven't paid. Scuff's just like, bleh.
I paid with my life. Okay.
I will never be free.
A massive thank you, everybody. Do stick around as we head on our raiding. Let's spread the love onwards. If you've got them, let those phoenixes fly. Enjoy the outro, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. But until then, as we like to say around these parts, what are you going to say? Bye.
Yasumi.
See ya.
We won the
Hi, everybody.
I had a feeling, John. I had a
Hi,
feeling.
everybody. Hold your horses just a moment, he said to himself. No, Adana, not all you have to say. Thank you, Emma, for shouting at me. Sorry, I got so excited and wrapped up in everything. There is a giveaway. There is a giveaway to draw. I'm sorry. Yes, Hans, we are
Let's
back.
go, round
So
2,
soon.
guys.
Okay, roll initiative. No, everyone is already in here. I am closing up these entries and seeing who has won the fabulous CZRPG giveaway as they have gifted to us. I do not want to let it go to waste. But as I am doing this, please do head on over to their Kickstarter, a fantastic collection of encounters for your adventures. And you can have fun like we do. Okay, it is closed. And does that work? I think so. All the entries are in. Okay, and we shall pick a winner. Just a moment, please. Are you working? iPad, don't fail me now.
Mystery maps.
Okay. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Come on, come on. Sorry, for 2 seconds.
Building the hype now. We're just building the hype.
My iPad apparently decided it was time to say goodnight as well. Oh yes, me. Sorry for 2 folks. 2 seconds, folks. Let's get this sorted properly. I'm gonna do it properly.
Come on, Llama, entertain the good people. We can't have them waiting.
Oh, I'm unconscious.
True.
That's a fair point, well made. Patch, over to you, good sir.
Yeah. Hi. Hello. This is a thing that's occurring.
Congratulations!
So,
Oh, we got it.
No.
Oh!
I told you! God damn it. Skeptic, you broke. That's why it didn't work. It's refused to die. I'm not going to do it. I'm not, no, don't. Baron Dragonborn, don't.
No, there's
everyone,
no
no.
congratulations. No.
He's not allowed. That is scuff, and he's not allowed.
That was a troll roll.
God damn it, Scuff.
That was a troll roll.
Troll roll.
I have the ability to roll another winner. Don't indulge him, everyone. Don't indulge him. Everyone, just ignore him. Just
I
ignore
got
him.
the winner.
Let me try that again.
Oh, God.
Adana!
Is anyone
Very, very apt for all of those inspirations given to all of our lovely players. And I think I'm actually I'm going to randomly roll to see where Tyranny's unused one goes. Okay, Carolyn, that makes sense.
hey!
Just
There
sign
you go.
here and you can have this inspiration.
Oh.
Okay, everyone,
Nice.
a massive congratulations to Adana. I know that this bundle will go to good use over there, and enjoy all of those. I'll get in touch with you later, Adana, and we can get that sorted. A massive thank you again to everyone. The lineup is the same as it was before, and as we do like to say in these parts properly this time, thank you all very, very much. And Oyasumi Nasai.
Yes,
Take it
yes,
easy.
yes.
Mwah.
Bye.
Or wield it.